Hey, what's happening, folks? This is Casey Jewett here.
Hello, I'm Brandon Watson.
I've been in the brewing industry for about 6 years now. I've worked for Megaton, Ingenious Brewing Company.
I've been in the craft industry for the last 3 years. I started at Back Pew and I've been with Megaton as the sales manager for the last year and a half.
I've been a sales rep for Deca Beer Co. for about a year now, and I also run their social media accounts.
I'm the creator of a local Houston-made drinking card game called F Your Liver. Welcome to the Beer Someone podcast.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Beer Someone. We're at Mojo's in Toscasito.
Yep, Mojo Sports Grille.
Mojo Sports Grille. I'm here with Casey, and we got a big special guest here, Leo. How you doing, boss?
I'm doing good. When you say big, are you saying like I'm fat?
Selling.
This fucking fat ass tub of lard.
Oh yeah, I'm fat. I mean, I weigh almost 240 pounds. Like, damn, bro.
Reputation and the scene, the things that you've done.
Pleasantly plump.
Yeah, you've worked for everybody.
Oh, really?
Well, a lot of people, right?
I've worked for a few.
I know you worked for Back Pew, SpindleTap. You currently work for Galveston Island.
I do. Don't forget about Running Walker.
Running Walker.
That's where I'm at.
Walker. Yeah.
Am I missing anything?
Specs. I don't know if that counts or not.
No, that counts.
Yeah. That's kind of where I snuck into the industry, was through Specs.
And then you went to Running Walker right
And
after.
I went to Running Walker after that. Yeah. Yeah.
I love Running Walker. I loved running.
I think it's loved. Yeah, loved Running Walker.
That's a great segment, and I do want to get into you and talk about your journey. But on my way here, there was a big post this morning on Beer Taste in Houston by our own Eric Anthony, and what was the post, Casey?
Hashtag craft beer is dead.
You agree with that?
You asking me first or asking Leo?
Let's ask Leo.
I don't think it's dead. I think I wouldn't even say it's on life support. I just think it's surviving. It's surviving. And it's figuring out ways to survive.
I think
Yeah.
things are coming. In my opinion, I feel like we're at the end of the bad times. The good times are around the corner. I think beer's going to come back. I think younger people am I not talking closer to it? I think younger people have had so many options, and I feel come September, a lot of those options are going away. And I think people are going to start looking for community again, and there's an amazing community here.
When you say September, are you talking about THC?
I am talking about THC.
Yeah.
You think that has anything to do with the...
I think it's going to make an impact.
Do you think that has anything to do with some of the issues that we're dealing with when it comes to craft beer?
I think there's a lot of things.
It's an IPA from Elder Sign. Yes.
It was the Durman drive from North Shepherd, which is funny that we were talking about breweries. The reason Eric posted that, sorry. The reason Eric had posted that is because yesterday North Shepherd Brewing and Copperhead Brewing both announced that they were closed.
Well, sort of.
Copperhead announced a couple of days before that.
And then they haven't technically closed yet or announced the date, but they are selling it.
But both of them announced that yesterday.
Right.
And that post from him came this morning, I'm assuming triggered from both those breweries.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
And it's not just breweries. I don't know if y'all saw
But
that,
also-
that the Upside Pub announced that they were closing
No.
at the end of the month. Yeah.
Okay, I did see something else is already moving in there, I think.
I believe Texadelphia is moving into that
That's
location.
what it is, yeah.
And if I'm being honest, man, I think that fucking sucks.
Fair enough. I don't know.
I don't care if they hear this or not, but I think that sucks because that was a great bar. And I don't know if Paige, the owner there, will listen to this or not, but it sucks that they're not going to be there because they were great people. And I feel like they were very passionate about what they did there. Yeah. And it's going to suck when they close, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is me just hearing that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Something posted yesterday about them, but there were some reps there, but I didn't realize they were closing. I've had beer on tap there. It's a really cool spot. It's definitely going to be missed in the Heights area.
100%, man.
Yeah. Now, it's a bummer to see all these places closing, but I think a lot to give Eric a little credit. I think Eric also understands that that's a topic that's going to garner a lot of conversation, which, as we see, there's 80-something comments on that post. So conversations are being had.
That's why he did it?
I don't think that's why. I think, but he also knew it was going to unlock some feelings, and some people were going to, I think he knows that that's what's going to happen when you make a post like that. A lot of people had varying degrees of opinions. I shared my opinion about how I feel about it. I think inflation has the most to do with what the problem is that we're seeing with craft beer. And I think that if we weren't dealing with this hyperinflation, people would still be drinking a little bit more than they have been. And being able to visit craft breweries is kind of like, that's a luxury. Like going to a bar is one thing, but taking it a step further and going to a brewery and things like that is a little bit, it's a different commitment.
That could be the case. I kind of think that consumer tastes have just kind of changed a little bit. And I think that's fine. I mean, we can't control what consumers want to do or what they don't want to do. A lot of those consumers have gone to drinking THC type beverages, which we could see an end to that here relatively soon by September, possibly.
And I think it is going to impact the community. I think that more people might go to breweries that haven't come in a long time.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to see how much of the market share that is taking. I don't think it's taking quite that.
I don't think it's taking a lot either. I think it's a lot of things.
I think, yeah.
What you just said is true, 100%.
But it's not just beer that's down, guys. It's alcohol that's down.
Yeah.
Like whiskey's down. I mean, like the spirits are down. Wine is down.
Well, that was the other point that I made on that same post was it's the Gen Z that's just now, the ones that are turning of age to drink. They're not drinking as much. And then people like our age, you're Gen X. You guys are Gen X, and we're millennials.
I'm Gen X.
You're a boomer.
Are you a boomer, really? When were you born to? Yeah,
we got
okay. But those are drinking generations, and those
put the camera on you if you're.
Those generations are either not drinking as much, either because of they're getting just aging out of it. It could be health related, or and because it's too expensive to drink like that, then compared to what it was 5 years ago.
I have drastically, stopped. I have not been drinking as much as I used to.
Same here.
Yeah, and that's because of health reasons. I've had cancer. I'm diabetic. So I have to kind of take it easy. I don't drink at home anymore. I might every once in a while. If I drink at home, it's a THC beverage. Maybe a glass of wine, but I'm not drinking beer.
I want to introduce Terry to the podcast.
Yeah.
He's we're at Mojo's right now, Sports Grille. Yes, and we haven't done a lot of. I think this is the first actual restaurant that we've done.
Yep.
Yeah, we've done breweries, we've done a couple craft beer bars.
And I appreciate you guys agreeing to do it here. Terry's a good friend of mine. Super cool dude. And you guys have literally been able to help me do two of my obligations. One was to be on your show, which initially we wanted to do it in Galveston, but then I used to do a podcast, and Terry a while back said, "It'll be real when you do a podcast here."
Right on. Yeah. And here we are.
I just want to say one thing. I'll throw this at these guys that, I've been doing craft beer for 14 years.
Make sure you're up on the mic, Terry.
I've been doing craft beer for 14 years. And I understand all the things you guys are saying. The market it was so proliferated, I guess this is the word.
Proliferated. Yeah.
So much stuff out there. And the problem right now, and I'm just telling you guys the truth, I've got 3 breweries right here. Don't give me a beer that sucks.
Right.
That's the problem. You got to find the niche. You got to be ahead of what people want and find that niche. And you know what? It's hard.
Yeah.
And everyone thinks they can brew a beer. Oh, I can do a beer. You can't. It takes more than just brewing a beer. It takes marketing, everything else. But you've got to find that beer that is your standard. And That's the problem right now. Everyone's throwing fastballs, hoping for a strike, and no one's hitting. There's been no great beer out.
Everybody's just a bit outside, right?
Right. Yes. And so don't skimp on cost. Make a beer that's good, and then people will drink it. Make a bunch of beer that tastes like crap, and you'll get crappy rewards.
Now we know what we're talking about. Well, you guys know what we're talking about, right? Like,
That's a point of view, of course.
I think that's
I want to
definitely
hear about it.
I think that's definitely a piece of it, that like making quality beer is definitely important if you even want to have a chance at staying in this game.
Absolutely.
And that's just a piece of it. Like Terry mentioned the marketing side of it, and I think maybe some breweries do really good on one aspect of it, but really miss the mark on another aspect of it. And it's a challenge. It's a challenge. I mean, it's a challenge for our brewery, and we have to do quality beer and marketing.
Leo's right about something. Marketing a beer is a crappy job. It's like working HEBs. It's like working at little brew festivals and stuff. But every little festival or every little thing you do, if they bring in 6 people and you add it up over a year, you do 100. You got 600 customers. But if you don't look at it like that and you think, well, you know what? It's not that big of a deal. Then your beer will not be that big of a deal.
Our beer is here, by the way.
I'm excited. I haven't had a beer today.
No.
Let's fix that.
That's not true. I swung by Megaton and had a beer.
Is that Leo? I'm going to take a sip. Is this the citrus?
It's not. Did y'all tap it?
How about it? Just work here.
In honor of North Shepherd, I got the Durham.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Durham.
hazy IPA.
I'm drinking Modelo because craft beer's dead. I stole your joke.
You did steal my joke. Yeah.
And here's the most important thing. I have a guy from Deca and from Megaton.
Yeah.
A brewery in Kingwood. There's 100,000 people in Kingwood. How come we can't support better 2 craft breweries? 100,000 people. The Megaton should have 100 people every night, every time.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Deca, which the problem with Deca, which I love Deca, is it's tiny.
Yeah.
They should have 50 every night.
Yeah.
I mean, how come we can't find 150 people a night out of 100,000 people that sit at the house? Because Megaton makes great beer. Deca makes great beer.
They do.
So let's support these breweries that are local.
Right.
Local breweries are incredible. And I mean, listen, Carbach's good. Budweiser's good. But local brewing are people that live in our community. People that, like my buddy right here. His son is friends with my daughter. Let's support his brewery at Deca. Like, let's support Megaton. Quit sitting at home. Go grab a beer on the way home. I don't understand.
But, Brandon, you made a great point in this conversation on Facebook about welcoming in more people that maybe are not craft, that are not necessarily craft beer people, and then not being snobs about it.
Right.
I think I'm definitely guilty of that.
Yeah.
I think that's on a whole, like, craft beer is generally seen as like, those are the snobs. They love their IPAs. They love their Belgian beers or whatever, right?
Beer's a lot simpler these days. People like lighter lagers. That's what's popular right now.
Yeah.
It's not crazy. It's not extreme. Like, anybody can get behind a lager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just got to get them in the door, and they got to have they're a great experience while they're there. They got to, when they're talking to people have to answer their questions and not just kind of push them away.
Right.
They got to be wanting to be at their job. They got to be excited to be there talking about the product that they're selling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't need to know how to brew a beer to get into craft beer. But to your point, the staff and it all trickles down from ownership as well. I think that you have to kind of set that tone for treating everybody with respect when they come in here, even when you get the most ignorant questions, which we used to make jokes about it all the time at some of the other places that I've worked at about some of the stuff that people come in there and ask you. I was teasing Brandon a second ago because he just asked the girl, what all do you have on tap? And there's 36 taps here?
60.
60 taps.
Okay, 60 taps.
What lager she had.
No, you didn't. You said, what all do you have on tap? And I laughed because I was like, clearly Brandon's never worked behind the bar that much, because you would know that if somebody asked you that and you have 60 taps, it's like, okay, sir, just check out the menu, sir. Like, we have 60 taps. I can't start listing them off. But it's like knowing those little tiny things about being in the industry when you're behind a bar, taking care of people when they have questions and they're not really very educated on what they're dealing with. That's our job, to kind of reel them in, not talk over their head, but just make it fun, make it educational, and make it inviting.
So, Leo, what was that place? It was downtown. It was the place that put Carbach on tap for $1 when Carbach sold out.
That was the Hay Merchant.
The Hay Merchant, which is out of business right now.
They are out of business. Yeah.
Right. So when I went in there, we were open for about 7 years, and I asked for the manager, and he was a complete douchebag.
I know who you're talking about.
They were notorious for that.
And I was like, oh, I know craft beer. I mean, I just want to reach out to you. And he's like, well, there's if you want me to come back, be my friend.
Right.
Don't look down on me.
Right.
But that guy had a reputation of being like that to just anybody.
Yeah.
Not just
I never went back.
you. Yeah.
Never went back.
That's all it takes from me to have a bad experience.
Right.
That's just
Don't degrade me.
right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I have an education.
Yeah. No, and
Central Station was kind of like that too sometimes.
A little bit. Yeah. No, but I knew people at Hay Merchant. I know who you're talking about. I'm not gonna drop names, but honestly, I think that guy's not even in the industry anymore. If it is who I think it is, because he left and then opened up another concept in Spring Branch that didn't really work out. And wasn't surprised when it didn't work out because I knew the person that was running it.
I
And
can honestly tell you, after, I've worked in this industry for 40 years,
yeah,
and I treat you guys know at this table. I do not treat any individual horribly. Like,
you
for
don't.
me,
You don't.
I'm very nice. I mean, I'm very open. I don't understand.
But the thing I love about Terry is that he's always honest too.
Yeah.
Like he says that he's not mean, and you're not mean. I remember coming one time. It was on a Friday like today, and I came in and he saw me. He's like, Leo, I'm not ordering beer today. It's like, Terry, I'm just here to drink beer, brother. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not here to bother you. But I didn't take it mean, right?
Right. Yeah.
He was just being honest with me. I'm not
Right.
ordering beer today.
Hey, I like
sales
pepper
rep, would you rather me say, I don't want your beer right now? Or like, oh, we'll get it in like Tuesday.
No,
Yeah.
no.
the truth.
I'd rather you tell me, hey, we're not going to order your beer anymore.
Absolutely. Yeah.
100%.
I appreciate that too. But I sometimes do the same thing. I just want to come and hang out. For whatever reason, just want to shoot the shit. And so, yeah. But yeah, I appreciate it though when people are up front.
And honestly,
On Rumplemintz, I'm good. If I'm Rumplemintz, it's a different story.
Okay.
he may have been drinking Rumplemintz that day. Who knows? But honestly, man, like I like for me, like I'd rather be dealt with honestly
Honesty's
than to be bullshitted. But honestly, at
100%.
this point, I've been doing sales for almost 20 years. I've been doing beer sales for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
And I know when people are bullshitting me, and I don't need the bullshit.
Mhm.
And if I know you're telling me bullshit, you're probably not going to see me again. Like,
Right.
Whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
There's other bars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. This is not one of those places.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. And That's
No,
why that's why I come here because
I have a history with this place because I worked here when it was Norton's.
You worked here?
You did tell me that.
But it wasn't. So when this building was built, it was built for a place called Norton's, and there were several locations around Houston, owned by a bunch of guys that came from the stripper club industry and Hooters industry.
They have as many taps on here?
Yeah, they had that same cold room. Well, they're having secrets time over here.
What the Yeah,
Is there anything y'all like to share with the class?
Listen, I know all those guys actually because I worked with all those guys from Norton's.
Yeah.
Every one of them.
And I'm not talking bad about
They
them.
were from Hooters.
Yeah, they were ex-Hooters guys.
I know.
And
Every one of them.
it was a great concept. It was 30, it's the same amount of taps, but I think it was just mirrored on both sides.
Taps.
Okay, so there were more taps added.
Yes.
Okay.
I added 50 taps. There were 10 taps.
So you have 60 taps total now?
There were 10 taps? There was
10
30-something taps when I was at Norton's.
Are you sure about
I'm
that?
positive, 100% positive. We'll die on that hill.
But I guarantee you that they were not crap beer taps. They were like Bud Light, one side, Bud Light the other side.
No, because there was a lot of imports. So there was like Smithwick's, Guinness. There was like Franziskaner. There was a lot of like imports from other states, like Oregon. We were getting shipped from.
I don't want to drop names, but you worked with Robert Jones.
Yeah, Robert Jones.
Greg Nelson,
Greg, yeah. And I don't remember the other guys.
Aguilera.
Yeah.
I know all those guys. We were all Hooters
Yeah.
managers.
They were all great. Really cool dudes.
Started with Hooters too?
I was a GM for Hooters for 10 years, from 2000 for 1999 to 2010, and I left there to open the runway, which is off.
But,
And then I opened this place, and those guys opened Norton and said, "They're good guys. They're good guys."
Yeah.
they are good guys.
Yeah, good guys.
I still
Yeah.
know Robert and Craig, man.
Craig still own 3Bs, both locations. They got 3Bs and 3Bs on the green.
Yep.
And and they keep Deck of Beer on tap at both locations. So I love those guys. But back then, whenever we all worked here, I mean, like everybody was we were in our party phase. They were still in their party phase. I mean, Robert straight up,
Oh, I know.
I think he pulled out a 9mm and shot one of the, there's a couple of there was a couple of taxidermied like heads on the wall, it was like a ram's head and like
Was you over the opening party?
and he popped on one of them like the night after they opened, and I broke a
that's
mirror
right,
in the
yeah.
hallway one time because I was mad about something like
They ran Rick's Cabaret in New Orleans.
in New Orleans. Yeah.
You know, this podcast, I can't talk about all the stuff I know.
Right, yeah, I bet. Yeah, no, they've told me stories too, and they're awesome dudes. But yeah, when they opened this place up, it was nobody had really had a place like that where there was 34, 36, however many taps there were of different beer. And there was, at the time, there was St. Arnold, and then Karbach, I think, showed up on the scene, I guess, somewhere in that mix. But most of it, yeah, it was all imports and
Right.
and domestic.
It was not truly craft beer. It was
Right.
Smithies, and it was the beers that you get through like Budweiser,
Right, yeah.
Miller Lite and stuff.
Yeah, we had Beck's like in bottles.
It sounds like an old Bennigan's.
Yeah.
Remember
You're right.
Bennigan's, right?
You're right.
But Tascita had nothing like that back then. It was kind of unheard of. And so it was packed and busy for a long time. And then after that newness wore off, they kind of lost some of their steam. And I think there was a lot more to that story, too. I think,
I know all that.
Yeah. But that was my history here, and I enjoyed my time working here.
No, listen. Well, they sold out. I mean, they sold out. And the other guy caused all the problems with how this place closed.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, it stays closed for a year. And then when we open it up, I talked to Leo. We had about 25 taps. And this guy named Mark Nichols from Duff Brewery, or Duff Brewing. Remember Duff?
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah.
Duff beer.
Pickles
Yeah.
Nichols. Goes, dude, let's bring.
Duff.
It was Duff.
I was talking about that earlier.
Duff.
Their favorite brands is now Duff.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Duff was favorite brands. He's like, let's bring craft beer out here. I thought, what is different that I could bring out here? And I thought, craft beer. And so 14 years ago, we put those 60 taps out with craft beer. And back then, you had weird breweries, dude. I'll tell you what, man, incredibly weird breweries.
Yeah.
Lobotomy Bach.
Yeah, dude,
Lobotomy.
that was a
Bach,
great beer. Is that not in production anymore?
Mexico,
no idea.
actually.
I love that beer.
Oh, it was incredible. I had all these great beers.
That's a
This
good
is the
one.
first place that I had the opportunity to try a St. Arnold Bishop's barrel. That's here at Mojo's.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So y'all
Yeah.
opened right before
This
like
is
it
an
really
OG.
started to explode, and then got to ride that wave of craft beer.
No craft brew. No one had craft brews out here.
Yeah,
Molly's had all the standard
imports if anything.
Right.
Yeah,
what craft. I mean, and then craft blew up. We all know that.
yeah.
And then very few stayed around. And of course, Deccan, Megaton are still around. But man, all those breweries went out of business. I mean, it's
How
yeah,
much
shit.
are we down to, right?
Oh fuck, I don't know. Then you get into the greater Houston area, and then that gets blurry.
I don't know. I haven't done like a
I haven't done a count in a while. I know it's not as much as it used to be.
Yeah,
I mean, just think about all the breweries that have closed over the years.
yeah,
Buffalo Bayou,
yeah.
probably the biggest one that has closed.
There were people in the same comment thread on that toast we were talking about discussing how that was part of the problem too. The oversaturation of breweries being part of the problem, and I do think that it was part of the problem that we see with all of them closing. But I don't think that means it's
I mean,
dead.
you could say there's an oversaturation, but if you're running a bar and you claim to support local, but then you have European beers on your draft wall, like, are you really supporting local? Like,
Right?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a lot of opinions for. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of breweries that have closed, man. A lot of really good ones. Like, I mean, we just heard that North Shepherd Brewing is closing, and I think they make some quality beer. I actually,
beer's really great.
I just had their Kolsch earlier today,
Yeah.
and it's a fantastic Kolsch.
Yeah.
Sam, I don't know if y'all know Sam, but he's a great brewer.
I met Sam. Yeah.
Super solid guy, great brewer, and I hate that they're not going to make it because they're making some good beers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now there's breweries that have gone by the wayside that, in my opinion, like, quality wasn't always there,
Do you know much about their were they doing any events or anything like that?
And I don't know. I know that they had some events where they were doing like science and beer events, right? That were kind of cool.
Oh yeah, the lectures, right?
Like some lectures to learn about the science behind the
That's right.
beer. And I don't know who was doing those. If it was Sam doing it, that was probably one of the best teachers you could have for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because he's been around.
He's a brilliant brewer, Southern Star, St. Arnold. You're right. Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, man, it sucks. It sucks to see the places closing and
Yeah.
people losing.
You think he'll end up somewhere else in the industry?
I think he's too good to not end up somewhere in the industry if he wants to continue. I don't want to speak out of turn. Like, I've known Sam for a long time, and I've had some good conversations with him, and
Yeah.
I would hope that he would want to continue because I think he's a good brewer.
Yeah.
But I would also understand, like, being like, I just feel like I'm spinning my wheels.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I get it. The frustration is there. Like, even for me, like,
Yeah.
it's tough. Like,
A lot of breweries-
the beer business is tough right now.
Yeah. There's a lot of breweries that are even though they're sticking with it, staying alive, they're still surviving. Some of them. I mean, we just talked to. I was super happy to hear from Mad Llama a couple weeks ago when we did our podcast with them that they are thriving in this kind of shithole economy. They're in a great location. They have a great amount of people that like to visit their tap room.
Where are they located?
In Spring, 40.
Be the neighborhood brewery and just be that.
Yeah.
That's like what Final Gravity Ted wants to do. Is just wants to be the neighborhood
Yeah. No distribution.
Yeah.
Just yeah.
and just don't plan to grow. Maybe that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
A lot of people swear by it. That's
I think that's where I think that I've been saying that for years, that the place for growth is in building a community, a neighborhood brewery that can thrive just on that.
yeah.
Like, just your business model is not, hey, I want to dominate the market and
Right.
space and HEB, Kroger Specs, all that stuff, and have my kegs everywhere. I think the place for opportunity is in the neighborhood. And
Yeah.
Do you know Dave from Southern Star used to own Southern Star? Dave,
Dave Fougeron?
Yeah. Dude's awesome.
I know Dave. Yeah.
right?
He's
He's sold out of Southern Star,
right. I think he's concentrating on mead right now. And
right?
like
for the Renaissance
a
Festival.
bar
Yeah.
that does mead
Right.
in Conroe.
When he had his little small place, they were making a ton of money.
Terry, make sure you're talking to the mic.
They were making a ton of money back in the day. Dave's one of my really good friends. I really like Dave.
It's a good dude for sure. Yeah.
And he bought that big brewery. And you sell your soul
Right.
to buy that big brewery. And it's awesome. I mean, it's great.
It's a beautiful brewery. So I think they did that right around the time where things started to kind of take a dip.
Right, they took the dip.
Right. And so you build this great big beautiful brewery, and then all of a sudden your customer base is
Right.
disappearing. Right.
So was it after COVID?
It was right before COVID.
Right.
It was right before COVID. Yeah.
And he's out of it now. I mean, he's out. And Dave's a great guy. What a great brewer.
Yeah.
He brewed that Kolsch for St. Arnold's. What is their big Kolsch?
Oh, lawnmower.
Lawnmower. Dave's guy brought the recipe up for lawnmower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I can't afford this anymore. I'm like, get it. I was like, dude, he has such a great small place. He's like, you just think bigger. I get it.
Yeah. That's what you want to do. You want to grow your business, right? That's the same thing that we did in Galveston. We expanded. We wanted to grow bigger, and now we're facing challenges.
Right.
But I mean, we're fighting, and actually, we're seeing growth in some areas of our business, and
That's awesome.
yeah. I mean, we're not going anywhere.
I definitely want to get into Galveston Island in a little bit. We'll definitely focus in a lot on Galveston Island.
Yeah.
Sure.
If y'all want to keep talking about craft beer is dead, I don't think it is. Ultimately, I don't think it is. I think it's surviving, and I think I've been saying this for a while now. I think everything is cyclical, and I think things will come back around.
Yeah. I agree.
We just have to wait that out.
Yeah.
And
I don't think craft beer
figure out ways to survive.
I think
We need
that's
a new
very
toy.
Negative way of looking at it, that craft beer is dead, when there's obviously things that we can do to change that. If there's things that you can do to make things better, and there is, nobody's perfect. No brewery is doing everything they can. There's always more that you can
It's not
do.
about Megaton is perfect.
I'm saying everybody, though.
I'm messing with you.
When I was in the Army, I remember walking around having nothing to do, and you know what? My first sergeant would walk up and throw a broom at me. There's always something.
There's always something to do.
There's always something to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether it's marketing a little bit better,
Yeah.
actually doing events,
Right. Events are important.
Yeah.
I like that you said actually doing events.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, not just talking about, this would be cool, we should do this.
And just decide that there's nothing you can do, then yes, you're gonna fail.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that these breweries are closing our failures. This is hard, man.
Yeah.
This is a hard business to be in. It is right now. It's hard.
Yeah.
So, sorry to segue back into Galveston, but I just mentioned marketing as being a big part of what we do in this business. And whoever does y'all social media at Galveston Island,
Hey, shout out to Sade Van Oorstrand.
fucking great job.
She is freaking awesome.
Y'all get lots of engagement, lots of attention. Y'all do. She does great content. Even when I was at Ingenious and I was doing all the content there, a big bulk of it, I was always kind of looking to see what they were doing. Like, man, they do some great stuff, fun videos. They get everybody
She's a rock
involved,
star, man.
and great photos of the beer.
I've always told her she's my craft beer sister.
Yeah, right on.
That we're not blood, but
Does she have any?
we're bonded by craft beer.
Does she go to school for anything like that, or is she just good at
You
it?
know, I'm not sure if she went to school for that. I know she went to school, but I don't know if it was for marketing or whatever. It's funny, I've never asked her that. I just kind of assumed that she was just good at that shit.
Yeah, no, she's excellent at it, and I think that helps y'all out a lot. It has to.
It does. Absolutely it does.
The y'all social media definitely presents the vibe that you feel when you go to the brewery there, which I've been quite a bit. Pretty much, if we go to Galveston, we go to Galveston Island Brewing. It's no brainer.
Easy
Okay.
Yeah, it's right there. I get treated well every single time.
and right on the way out.
The muffalata's cheap and it's good.
The only problem with the muffalata is that it has black olives.
That's louder, brother.
I know.
And I agree. I agree 100%.
I hate black olives. I'm just saying, I don't like it.
My only problem with Galveston Island is when I go there, Leo's not there.
I'm not. I'm hardly ever there.
That's why I go there.
Fucking Eddie Haskell.
I'm sorry to disappoint you guys.
I go there and he's not there.
I'm not.
I still enjoy it.
Fuck is
Really
Leo?
great beer. Y'all have like a little sandwich, chip, drink combo thing?
Well, so we actually buy sandwiches from a local company called Macio's, which has been in Galveston for generations. And so we buy sandwiches from them and reheat them, but we also do our own food. We just opened up a small kitchen where we do pizza and wings.
Oh, yeah?
Solid pizzas, yeah.
Yeah. We have soft pretzels as well. Yeah.
You got a great merch section.
Oh, the merch.
Our merch sections, hey, again, credit to Sade.
That's her too.
That's her baby right there. Is the merch section, the marketing, the tap room. That's all her.
That's legit.
She's a fucking rock star, dude.
Ask you guys a question real quick.
Absolutely.
Do you think that the closing of these breweries is kind of like the herd letting the ones that either die?
A little bit.
Not all of them, but I mean that's life's evolution.
I think the ones that stick around are going to be around for a long time. I think we are in trying times right now, and I think we're going to lose some more.
Understand, but I mean, the good breweries will stay.
Yeah, but location is a big to do with it, I think. James Carlisle is making amazing beer at City Acre. He's making great beer. There's not a bad beer on the tap wall, and they were having a hard time bringing people to that spot because it's in a bad location.
You talk about location.
Yeah.
That's the worst location.
Yeah.
I mean, my wife and I went there, and we parked our car in a gated thing nighttime. It's like going, I'm not going to walk.
It's sketchy.
Right
Yeah. Feels sketchy.
I don't
even started now.
I think Megaton's a little bit hidden if we're talking about bad locations. A lot of people don't know it's on North Park.
It's a little bit off the beaten path.
Yeah,
a
there's
little
not a
bit.
big sign.
But you know what you guys do really well is your marketing. Your marketing is really good. I mean, that's Chris.
Chris is good with the theming and the social media. He's definitely stepped up the social media.
And also local outreach. Chris does a great job marketing y'all's brewery as the Kingwood Brewery. Absolutely,
yeah,
100%.
He does do that.
That's been like that since day one because I was there during day one, and that was always a thing. Kingwood Brewery, have it on the shirts and everything. It's just smart marketing because Kingwood loves Kingwood.
Do y'all? And I don't know if it changed. And this is a question for you. The tap handles, the deck of tap handles. It said Kingwood, or do they say Porter now, or do they?
They say Porter because that's our address, but sometimes some of them do say Kingwood.
They said Kingwood originally,
and then
Chris went and said something. This is what Chris. He said something.
No. They said Kingwood on one side, Porter on the other. But
Are we about to have a turf war here right now?
The only thing I've noticed is people at festivals usually will see Porter and think, oh, you have a Porter on tap. And I'm like, no, we're from Porter. So that's the only thing. But our address is Porter.
Hey, now that of course I can't think of the name right now. The brewery that used to be on 1960.
Oh, Southern Yankee.
Southern Yankee.
Yeah.
They used to make it. They had a beer called Porter's Porter. Now that they're not around anymore, one of you guys should take Porter's Porter.
Good. Yeah.
I'm not in Porter. There's 3 breweries in Porter now though. There's Back Pew, there's Decca, and there's Final Gravity.
Final Gravity is going to open soon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, very
The
soon.
weekend, something like
Already
that.
had some soft openings.
Yeah.
The 4th of July weekend is grand.
I was asking Casey if you wanted to get a beer there tonight. You want to come see if we could sneak in?
I don't know about that. We'll see.
Play some darts.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. So what are we drinking right now?
I was serious about drinking the Modelo, but I'm about to switch to a Elder Sun phase shifter, right? Phase shifter mosaic. It's a 5% IPA. Sessionable.
Are you drinking on the same thing?
Shut those. Yeah.
What's it called? Phase shifter?
I don't know. Something like that.
Sorry, Elder Sun.
I don't know.
I think it's phase shifter.
Normally we drink beer from the person we're talking to, but we don't have anything from Galveston Island.
Terry, is that beer tap? Do you know?
Which one?
The Citra Haze?
I have to check. I don't know yet.
It's all right. So my distributor was running a little late today.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. So that beer's probably not going to get tapped till tomorrow, or maybe.
We watched them pull in at 6:30.
Yeah.
Was it on camera?
No, but they pulled a big Kona thing on the side of the truck.
Yeah.
Pulled
I
in.
don't know if you guys like this beer or not. I'm sure Leo does. I don't know if Casey, you guys do. But, on on opening football day, I'm tapping the 120.
120-minute Dogfish Head.
Oh, no.
Shit.
Yeah. I love that beer.
Right.
I thought you were talking about his beer.
Great beer, dude.
Yeah.
Great beer.
That's a lovely beer.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm tapping that on opening day of football.
Football. So that's 0-1 for the Colts that day, by the way.
Go Colts!
I like talking shit because I know Terry's a Colts fan.
Now learning that, yeah.
I get a lot of stuff. It's all right though, dude. That's
Hey, 2 years ago, we had one of the funnest times during football season here when the Texans and the Colts were playing for the division title the last week of the season. The bar was packed. It was packed. Terry and I talked a lot of shit, but the Texans won that.
Right. Hey,
Nice.
hey, I give a lot of shit.
And you take a lot of shit and would say likewise.
I'm all
Yeah.
all in.
100%. I also want to point out, I don't know if he's on camera or not, but Terry's wearing a Yankees jersey.
Sure is.
Hey, man, I'm a big Yankee fan.
He's a Yankee fan. It's all right, man. It's all right. Yeah, they haven't won a World Series in a long time, but that's okay.
That's all right.
Richard, who's your
It'll be a
favorite
long time till you
baseball
win a
team?
World Series again, too.
This year, we'll win one this year.
Oh, you're about 10 games behind us right now. But it's all right, though.
10? Is it really 10 games? It's not that far.
It is.
Oh, I don't know.
Don't worry, I'm going to shot
I'm
tequila
gonna have to-
come for you real soon.
I'm gonna have you have a shot of tequila on?
Speaking of 10, this is our 10th episode.
Is this our 10th?
It's our 10th episode.
It's our 10th episode.
That's gnarly.
Y'all's 10th episode?
We've done 10 of these.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
I wish we did this tomorrow because I could get these guys the head of Silver Eagle will be here tomorrow.
I don't know. Okay, yeah, I guess.
I wish we could have it tomorrow because I'd love you to talk to that guy.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I guess I would want to talk to him. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah,
He'd be
they
here at 3 o'clock.
definitely have some knowledge on the industry, I would imagine.
I don't
All right.
think I'm gonna
Beers on Terry tonight. We're 6 games back of the. We're actually. I'm sorry. We're 4.5 games back of the Yankees right now.
Are you really?
Yes, sir.
All right. But listen, I agree. I can't fucking see, dude. I'm turning 60 on Sunday.
Hey,
happy birthday.
to Terry. by
Happy
the way.
Father's birthday, Father's Day birthday.
It's your birthday?
On Sunday.
On Sunday, okay.
60. On day.
Well, that's awesome. Happy birthday.
Big 6-0 over the hill.
Yeah.
And Father's
I thought
Day.
Over the Hill was 25.
Hey, at 60's the new 40.
You know what, dude?
I like that.
It's not about how old you are. It's how you think you are.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that.
When you turn 40, it becomes 60 in your head.
Oh, when I was 40, 60 was old. Now 60 is very young.
Yeah, you're like,
Absolutely.
I'm still hip.
100%.
So I just-
That's all right, though, man.
I just turned 52 and I feel young.
And for everyone out there, life is good.
It's great.
Enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Travel. Don't judge people. Just enjoy life.
And I would say, don't do anything that you don't want to do. This is the thing that I'm trying to like wrap my head around. I was like, I don't want to do anything I don't want to do anymore.
yeah.
Makes sense.
You
You've
know?
always had that. At least in the time I've known you, you've always had that attitude.
Yeah, I had cancer a few years ago, and like that was the birth of that thought of like,
Right.
I don't want to do anything I don't want to do anymore.
Right? Yeah. That'll open your eyes up.
You have a great night.
But you've
We're
been
waving at my aunt and uncle that are leaving.
You've been cleared of all that for a while now.
Yeah, for the most part. I need to have another colonoscopy to 100% verify that I don't have anything. But yeah, we're good. We're good. I'm probably gonna do that later this year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Little camera up the booty hole.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like Leo, like, yes, man. I've had cancer 3 times.
Wow.
Jeez.
3 times, Terry?
I've had melanoma twice.
Okay. Yeah.
Which, you know what? Which is the most aggressive cancer. But I caught it at stage 1.
Yeah.
And I had the throat cancer.
Damn.
This was this last one, right? That you had the throat cancer.
Where I took chemo and I did radiation.
Yeah.
Like, my tongue was burned at radiation. Like, I will never get to taste things like you guys at this table will ever, like, never again.
Yeah.
My saliva glands are gone. But you know what? I got through it. And, like, it sucked. I dropped 60 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it made me realize, like Leo did, and you guys are young, you don't realize it, but we have children, which you guys
He has children.
It is like every day I was like going, I want to make it through this. Every day I did all the chemo, 7 hours a day, that chemo, the radiation. I was like, I want to make it through this.
It's good, man. And you did.
Yeah, man.
And you
Cheers to
did.
that.
I'll never forget the day I walked in here
Right. Because
after he had started
friends
chemo.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have kids with their friends together.
Yeah, they're really good friends.
I got young children. I'm old, but I got young children.
Yeah, you do. That's true.
So, anyway, just live life, man.
Absolutely.
Life's good.
Life's
Drink
good.
craft beer.
Yeah.
Drink craft beer. That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. Cheers to that.
So cheers to that.
I know we haven't been going that long, but y'all want to take a little break?
Let's take a break. I could probably use the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take a break because I got shots coming out.
Okay, we'll start it back up with shots.
Hello, and welcome to Spider Games. A few years ago, I started selling a couple video games on eBay. Now I'm selling video games of all generations, retro toys, and anything I think's cool. I'm a top-rated seller because I package well and I take care of my customers. Check out my store on eBay. It's called Spider Games. Do you have any old video games sitting around? I buy video games of all generations, and I pay better than the game stores. If you do, email me at spidergamesebay@gmail.com.
I'm also known as DJ Sino. You can find me at least a couple of different breweries or craft beer bars throughout the month hosting the best music bingo in all of Houston. We'll be sharing those shenanigans right here on the Beer Someone podcast.
We're back, guys, and we're about to take a shot. And you were saying it's some nice shit?
No, we're not taking a shot.
No, we're not taking a shot?
I'm
Oh,
sipping
we're taking a
this
shot.
shit. Oh
Leo's
my
going to
God.
sip it like a whiskey little wimp.
What is this, Terry?
This is Don Julio 1942. Cost for consumers probably $160, I imagine. For me, it's about $112.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so each shot cost is like $4.20. I mean, I'm talking in. So I would charge about $20 for the shot.
$28 for the shot.
But can I tell the story really quick? I don't want to take away from like how awesome this makes you look.
Yeah, you're awesome.
For treating us to these awesome shots. But the reality that we're talking about here is that the poor lady who has been great with serving us this whole time we've been here, whenever you ordered a Don Julio shot, I didn't hear the rest of the conversation, but apparently she took that as
Right.
1942
Well, she goes, you
and
want
not
the
just
tequila, and I said yes. She goes, you want the good stuff? I go, yeah. Don Julio is the good stuff.
the good stuff.
And she went above and beyond.
Yes, she did.
Good for her.
That's why I high-fived her.
She's an awesome server.
I was like, hell
Terry
yeah.
only hires the best people,
You know,
I'm telling
and-
you.
You know, it's
Right?
all good. In the end, though, you know, to put a good tequila out there for you guys to taste will make you buy a good tequila next time you do it.
Right, yeah.
100%,
Once you
100%.
start, it's hard to go back once you try stuff like this.
All right, so I'll shoot this.
We're shooting
We're
it?
shooting now? Damn it, Leo.
You don't actually need the orange, but I'm going to do it.
The
But you
cameras
don't
look
need
great,
it.
by
It's
the
so
way,
good.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
so we
Better
do the
lighting.
orange
Yeah, it looks good.
Before or after the shot?
Before.
Before the
I
shot.
thought it would. It looks good when you're
All right.
at night at Moon Tower.
Guys, we're doing the orange before the shot.
Oh.
The orange.
The orange before the shot.
Do before.
Cheers, motherfuckers.
Cheers, man. Fucking. Let's go.
Oh, damn.
So
good.
So good.
It is.
That's delicious.
Wow.
And so I got to do a shout out.
I don't normally shoot tequila, but that was good.
All the
you
caramelly
do.
notes at the
Yeah.
end.
I'm going
Wow.
to do a shout out to Adeka. Blood orange beer done right is incredible. And Southern Star used to do a blood orange beer, and Dave, the owner, stopped doing it, and he buried a six-pack. I was there when he did it. And then when Casey brought in the blood orange, we sell a keg every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Done right,
great
blood
beer.
orange is a
100%.
great beer, dude. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, great
Been
beer.
a bit of our cash cow lately. I can't.
No
Cody just
disrespect
nailed
to
it.
Dave, but I kind of feel that y'all's is a little bit better than the Southern Star one.
We appreciate
And
that.
That's good.
And Blood Belt from Southern Star was a great beer.
Right.
Yeah.
100% a great beer.
Yeah, I mean, it's been selling so well, and I think one thing I want to point out there, and I try not to go on and on about my own breweries, you know,
No, you
doing
can.
doing
I'm
well,
sorry.
but But when I started seeing that wall move off a tap wall so quickly, it was a testament to me because, like, you know, there are some beers, or let's put it this way. There's breweries like Lone Pine that have Yellow Rose, and everybody knows that Yellow Rose is like their cash cow, right?
Right.
Everybody knows that beer is going to sell well. Not everybody knows who Decca Beer Company is, and so when that beer starts flying off of tap walls, it's not because of the brand recognition. It's flying off the tap wall because the fucking beer is good, and that's really what I'm noticing now with that beer. It's just, Cody makes great beer, but that one somehow really just hit the Houston palate really well.
Is it here?
Bro, I told you 7 months ago. This beer's good.
Is that
Yeah.
it right there?
That's
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Can I try it?
Absolutely, dude.
I
Don't
haven't
worry
tried
about my
it.
herpes.
No, I got them too. We're all good.
about honesty here.
Right.
Cheers. Let me see.
That's what that sword
Okay,
is.
I've never tried that. What's it called?
Blood Orange Blonde.
Blood orange.
So it's our two blondes walking with blood orange.
Wow.
5
That's
ounces per
tasty.
I told you.
slim.
Make a great beer.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's how you're successful.
That's a good beer.
yeah.
That's a good beer.
Gotcha.
Casey, there you go.
Yeah.
And by
Yeah.
the way,
This was not a paid
Megaton's
advertisement.
Kolsch. I went through it quick.
Good.
That's a great beer.
Appreciate that.
That is a
Good.
great.
It
I
is a
just
great
want to
beer.
shout out to you.
That's a
Megaton
beer.
Kolsch.
That's a beer that's made leaps and bounds.
Right. Absolutely great
Yeah.
beer.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely one of I think our best beers that we make. I mean, we get some great stuff. We got the rocket launcher's really great. I'm not trying to make the podcast about Megaton either, but we have a lager coming out.
I
that-
kind of feel that nobody wants to pay attention to me anymore.
No. You are the focus of our podcast, and we're about to really dive deep into you. We just started taking a
Deep
shot.
dive into Leo.
I'm being a bitch. Brandon, Megaton.
about me.
Megaton makes great beers, man.
I was just going to say that
Yeah.
Upstandard's a lager that's about to come out at Megaton that I'm really excited about, and if you definitely need to go check it out. It's coming out soon. But, Leo, Running Walker, that's where you started, right?
That's where I started, and maybe a little bit before that. I'd like to tell if you let me tell my story a little bit, because
Yeah.
I've been doing sales since 2009. So coming up on 16 years. Yeah. 2009, my wife and I got married, and literally like 5 days after we got back from our honeymoon, I lost my job. Yeah.
That sucks.
And I was actually during that like economic downturn from like the whole housing crisis, and
Yeah.
all that stuff. And I had a hard time finding a job, and I was doing a lot of contract work, and at that point my experience was in telecom, doing like telecom construction, and I had done that for a long time, and I was just kind of to the point where I was like, I need to do something different. And I thought about, well, maybe I could do sales. And I had never done sales before. And I actually started selling insurance.
Oh, wow.
As my first sales job. I was selling Aflac insurance. And I was very naive about sales.
Not as fun as beer?
Yeah.
Nowhere near as fun as beer.
Yeah.
But I cut my teeth on that, man. And like I said before, I was very naive about sales, because I thought, Aflac, they have the cool commercials with the duck and all that shit, and like, this is gonna be easy. I'm gonna make
Right.
a lot of money. I mean, and day one I realized, nope, this is not gonna be easy. But I found a way to be successful, and all it takes is just putting your nose down and
Yeah.
grinding and working and figuring out a way to make it work, right? And I was successful. I won awards and all that stuff, and I came to a point. It's like, okay, I'm gonna try something different. And at the time, I was already a craft beer fan, and had applied to work at St. Arnold a couple of times, but I just didn't have the experience. And so I worked for a marketing agency for a year and a half, and I was a complete and utter failure at the marketing agency. I didn't sell a damn thing for a year and a half.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, there was some really cool lightning in the background
saw
here just
it.
a second ago.
I saw the reflection
Yeah.
of it over here. I didn't actually see
Yeah.
it, but I saw it flickering. It's lightning, but I could see it.
Yeah. So we may be getting
Might
a
have
storm
gotten
here
on
in a
camera
second.
somewhere.
Maybe. But anyway, complete and utter failure working for this marketing agency. But during my time there, because I wanted to succeed, I hired a sales coach that gave me exactly what I needed. And what I needed was somebody to be an asshole to me 24/7. And that's what he was. Because he saw the weaknesses that I had and the things that I needed to improve on. And he was like a fucking drill sergeant, pretty much, right?
Right on.
And I paid him a lot of money to treat me
And
that
you
way.
responded to it well.
And I responded to it, but fortunately not in time for me to save my job at the agency, but enough to know that I needed a hard reset. And that's what he said. Like when I lost my job, they said, "Man, you need to start over. You need to start from the bottom, and do something that you love, and just go after it." Right?
Were you already interested in craft beer at this
I
point?
was, and I had applied. Like I said, I applied to St. Arnold, but just didn't have the experience. Right?
So you were a local at these breweries?
But I was drinking craft beer. Like
Yeah.
my first craft beer, where I thought like, oh, this is a game changer for me, was in 2000. The first time that I tried Fancy Lawnmower from St. Arnold.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was my beer. Like, and at our wedding, we had a half barrel of it at our wedding.
Oh wow.
Nice.
So yeah, man. I mean, I was in, right. Like I didn't like IPAs at that time, but I was into craft beer. I was drinking a lot of wheat beers and Kolsch's, and eventually I did get into IPAs and drinking hoppy beers.
Yeah.
But my sales coach was like, you need to go somewhere and just kind of start over. Start from step one and just figure out a way to get into doing what you really want to do. And it was at that point that I knew that I wanted to be in craft beer, because we took a vacation back in 2013 or 14, where we took a week's vacation to West Texas. And at that point, Big Ben Brewing Company was open in Alpine. And I was like, hey, we got to go check this out, right? And so we spent a lot of time there. I had a long conversation with a Texas craft beer OG, Steve Anderson. And this guy goes way, way, way back. In Austin, he the first brewery that he opened and brewed for was Waterloo Brewing Company. He was one of the early brewers at Live Oak. Waterloo. No longer around. He was also one of the OGs at Live Oak, which, I mean, if you don't know Live Oak, I mean, shit, man, they
Been
make
high
some
on
of
a
the
rock.
best beer anywhere, right? Like some of the best shit around. So he left there and decided to open his own place in West Texas, Big Ben Brewing Company. And that day, as we were leaving the brewery, I told my wife, I was like, I'd like to figure out a way to get into this industry. At that point, I was already working with the sales coach. Kind of had the feeling that I was probably going to lose that job, and that's what happened, right? And sales coach was like, "We just need to start over, figure out what you want to do, and just go after it."
Yeah.
And so, I tried to get jobs at breweries. Of course, I didn't have any experience. I was like, well, I need to go work somewhere where I can get my foot in the door, and that was Specs.
Yeah.
The Specs in Kingwood, a tiny little liquor store that had a tiny little beer department.
You're from Kingwood?
I live in Kingwood, and when we got married, we bought a house in Kingwood.
I grew up in Kingwood.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I lived here from like 2 to the time I joined the Army. And,
Yeah.
And now I live downtown.
So
but
when were you born?
I was born in 89.
89.
Yeah.
I moved to Houston in '89. Not to
I
make
moved
you
to
feel
Kingwood
young.
in 73.
Y'all have me beat.
Wait. How old were you when you moved here?
8.
So you're 8 years older than me, because I was born in '73.
Oh, yeah. When I went to
Yeah.
Kingwood, there was nothing.
Right.
There
I
was
heard that.
There was not, like Foster Elementary, Mini Max was the store in the front where it used to be the old Steinmart.
Yeah.
Casey lives in Kingwood, but he's not from Kingwood.
Richest high school in America, according to David Letterman back in the 80s.
Right.
He had
Not
was he?
surprising.
they were able to calculate the value of all the vehicles in the high school parking lot somehow.
I think that was.
Oh, I'm sure it was bullshit, but it was still funny.
I would say that's bullshit. I mean, because my daughter graduated from that high school, and I know for a fact that she drove a 1997 Pontiac Bonneville, and she was a 2006 grad. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there was,
Math
yeah.
doesn't check out.
No, it does not.
So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. You were working at Specs.
So I worked at Specs. I started off as a cashier,
Okay.
but I made it known that when I started there, that I wanted to work the beer department. And not to talk shit, man, but that beer department was in bad shape, right? I was a cashier for 2 weeks.
Still is.
I was about to say that.
Still is.
I was a cashier for 2 weeks.
is.
And the manager was like, "Hey, we're gonna let you go ahead and take over the beer department." And I cleaned it up. I cleaned it up. There was a lot of problems in that beer department, and I cleaned it up. The things that I learned from the marketing agency helped me out there because I started my own Twitter account that was. It was called Kingwood Beer. I couldn't use the Specs name.
Yeah.
But I just called it Kingwood Beer, but I did use the Specs bunny as the logo, right? And I built a following.
Right
I
on.
built a following.
You're
I
talking about
started-
the one on North Park.
No, the one on Kingwood Drive. There
Yeah,
is-
that's what
there-
I'm
yeah.
at the Kingwood
Yeah.
Drive one. There's not one on North Park.
Right.
Yeah, so the Kingwood Drive one. That's actually Specs 1. There's
Okay.
some funny backstories behind that, but
I'm just
uh,
wondering if I walked in there back in the day and you were.
you
the-
might have.
You,
You
yeah.
never know. And that's actually how I met Chris and Jared.
That's funny.
Yeah, from Megaton. So, anyhow, they put me in charge of that beer department. Immediately, I was like, okay, how can I make this better? How can I increase sales here? Started working on the marketing for it. Every time somebody walked in the beer department, I was like, what are you looking for? How can I help you? You know, making connections, being a salesperson, right? Developing relationships, and immediately, I mean, I wouldn't say immediately, but within a few months, like, the manager was like, you're making a difference here. Like, there were getting a lot more people coming in here looking for beer. You know, I developed the relationships with the distributors and told them, hey, I want to be a little bit more craft centric because that's kind of like where the market is right now. It took a little bit of having to be a little bit of a bitch to them, you know, because they always want to push the big stuff, Bud Light,
Right.
whatever, Miller Lite, you know. But eventually they were like, yeah, you know, we get you. This is what we're gonna do. And they
Because
were
if they're stopping there for craft, they'll probably buy liquor or whatever else they sell too. You know.
absolutely, yeah. So I developed that department I was there for 9 months, and once I got my first the first level of Cicerone, which is a certified beer server, that's when I felt that I was like, okay, I'm confident that I can now, you know, apply to a brewery and maybe at least get an interview. And the first brewery that popped up was Running Walker. I think I found them on
That's
Indeed.
far out there, man.
I found them on Indeed. I was like, man, I'm just gonna send in my resume. I'm gonna
lived
put
in
on there.
Kingwood?
I lived in Kingwood.
Really?
Yeah, but
Even
you
then.
know, they were a brewery that had some money behind them, right? And so they were willing to build a team, right? And so I was the North Houston rep, right? And I built it, man. I built it for them.
Yeah.
My first customer for Running Walker was Mojo's. Was Terry right here.
Really?
He was my very first customer.
Wow.
Day one, I talked to the sales manager. Hey, I know the place I'm going to go to. The first place I'm going to go to is Mojo's in the Atascocita because I have a relationship there. I know those guys. I've taken their money in poker, and and Terry brought my first keg.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Terry brought
cool.
my first keg.
I didn't expect that part of the story to manifest.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And so and
Can I interject 1 second?
yes,
So, SpindleTap, Running Walker,
Back Pew,
Back Pew.
and now
I
Galveston.
bought the Galveston. I
Yeah.
brought all the first kegs.
You did.
I did.
You did. So
I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to buy kegs. I am not.
he's not.
Just
he's not.
show me a good beer, and
Yeah.
I'll buy your beer.
Yeah. Are you going to buy it a second time, I guess, is the.
Right.
When
Yeah.
you first realized that you could do this, it was going to be a job, and you pursued the job at Running Walker. And this is just something that I did when I first got into craft beer, when I got my first job at Back Pew.
Yeah.
I had like accounts in my head that I was pretty sure would buy beer from me if I went in there. Did you? I'm guessing you knew that about Mojo's. Was there anybody
Absolutely.
else?
You know, because one of the things that my sales coach taught me is like, go after the low-hanging fruit. Go after the places,
Yeah.
the places where you know that you're going to make a sale, because that's your bread and butter. And then you work on the places that you feel are kind of hard to get into, and just slowly but surely develop those relationships.
You know,
right?
I almost wanted to go into one of those accounts and be like, try to sell them on the beer and have an order for before I even went and interviewed for the job. I didn't end up doing that, but I'm just wondering if that's something maybe you did.
I did not.
No, because I
No.
didn't. Because you said you already had the relationship.
I had relationships here. I had relationships at Molly's on 494 with Jeff.
Yeah.
Because he was actually my customer at Specs. He didn't buy beer at Specs, but they would buy liquor at Specs. And I knew him from just drinking at Molly's, right?
Yeah.
And so when I got the job at Molly's, at Running Walker, I went to go visit Jeff, and he was like, "Hey, what's up, Leo? How's it going?" I was like, "Hey, man, I just got a job with a brewery. I got samples right here. Would love for you to try them." And they bought beer from me, right? And
They also liked you, though. They already knew you're friends with them.
I mean, and like I said before, man, like go after the low hanging
For
fruit.
sure.
Right.
And so like I went to talk to my friends, the people that already knew me and they liked me.
Yeah.
They want to support you because
They
know
wanna
you're
support me.
awesome.
Yeah.
human being. Oh, hey. Oh, we don't have it.
We're
You're
ordering
being a
beer right
difficult
now.
patron, Brandon.
Sorry.
You know what we need? We need a sample of the Prairie Essential. Prairie Essentials.
sample,
I'll take a sample of that.
Yeah,
yeah. I wanna
we
try
need
that.
Well, 3. I've already had it. Prairie Essential from Krebs, Oklahoma. It is an incredible.
Terry, would you
Prairie-
recommend
Prairie
any
Essential.
lagers on tap as well?
What?
Would you recommend any lagers on tap?
What?
Prairie.
I just want to
Prairie
thank Chelsea on the podcast. Chelsea's our server. She's
Thank
doing an
you,
excellent
Chelsea.
job.
She's awesome. Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's the reason we got the 1942. Thanks, Chelsea.
Yeah, a sample. And you know what? Right now, I don't have it. You know, we have such great beers on tap right now. Give me a second to think about it.
Yeah. Maybe
Because-
recommend something I couldn't get anywhere else. I don't know.
Oh,
Ooh, you know there's Juicy Bits on tap that you can't really find that at a lot of places.
Oh,
Maybe.
Just if you want some bits.
our friends from
Is that
Colorado.
the new one or?
I don't know if it's new. It's Juicy Bits is
It's from
not new,
WeldWorks.
but
It's from WeldWorks.
from
our
WeldWorks
friends
Yes,
from
and
Colorado.
Greeley.
we have
Yeah.
that on tap
Oh, yeah.
right now. Yes,
Yeah.
that's great
I
beer.
saw that on the menu. I might get that as a later.
Right.
I think it's 8%.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Listen, I've been in Fort Walton for a week, so I just came back. So I'm getting into this whole thing right now.
Yeah,
So
gotcha.
the Prairie Essentials.
One thing I wanted to mention about you working at Running Walker was my first time I ever met
I'm
Leo.
gonna say this online real quick.
Yes.
Fuck Bob. Give me 4 more of those shots that we just had.
Sorry, Bob.
Fuck Bob.
Love you, Bob.
Yes. Let's go. Yes.
You were saying.
Wait, we're doing another one?
Oh yeah. Go Colts.
So, thank you. Thanks, Chelsea. So I was at Crisp in the Heights. It's one of my spots, my OG. I was there for 5 years. Loved working there. But I was there as a bartender for a long time, and I dealt with a lot of reps we were a beer and wine only place, so I dealt with the reps. And after my first couple of years there, I had kind of developed. I was never a manager, but I was looked upon to do tastings and kind of help with the beer program and the wine program because I have a little bit of a wine background as well. And so I get to sit on a tastings, and my impression of Leo was so great because so many people would kind of come in and treat me like, "Oh, you're just a bartender. You don't know shit about shit." I'm like, "Okay, well, maybe I do, maybe I don't." You know, I get it because there are a lot of people. You know, I've seen it. You know, there's some people that they're an order taker. They're behind the bar. That is what it is. But I would try to get to know these people a little bit. And you and I don't remember the kind of conversation we had, but I remember I left the conversation feeling like, man, that guy was pretty cool. Nice guy.
My philosophy on sales, and this just kind of leads into the type of person that I am, is that I am not going to judge anybody based on what their position is, because I don't know if like who I'm talking to may not be the guy, the person that's like, we're gonna order your beer or your product. You may be the person that talks to that person and says, hey, I think this beer would be really great on our tap wall. We should probably bring it in.
Yeah.
Right. You may not be the guy that makes the decision, but you may be a guy that can influence the decision.
Definitely the one serving
and
it.
So this is another thing that my sales coach taught me, and his name is Rick Roberge. He's an old guy like that.
Like me.
Older than you, Terry.
I also want to add to
than
what
you.
you're saying when you're talking to somebody on maybe not a decision maker, maybe it's a bartender. Yes, they can influence the buyer themselves, but they're also going to influence the consumer, the customer that's coming in there and buying the drinks on tap.
That's the thing. So like,
It tickled their feathers too.
One of the
If
best
they're
tools you can
recommending
have
your
as
beer
a
to the customers
salesperson.
and selling the beers for you, that's amazing.
One of the best tools that you can have as a salesperson is a CRM.
Exactly.
I don't know if you guys
I
use
agree.
that or not,
Mhm.
but let me tell you, man, making notes on an account, the most important notes that I make is taking people's names down and making a note of like, what was my experience with this person? Were they a bartender? Were they a server?
Yes.
And the next time I come in, remembering that person's name
People
makes
love hearing their
such
name.
an impact.
It does.
Because and I can't remember everybody's name, but that helps me remember. And it's so important as a salesperson.
The fattest man in America just showed up.
Oh my God.
Yes,
We are.
we have a guy from Favorite Brands who is larger than life, which I mean.
Steve Cohen from Favorite Brands just walked in.
Right. Steve Cohen from Favorite Brands.
Woo. Do we need to take a break?
Do y'all want to take a break?
No,
We might
we're
need
good.
to.
We're all good, dude.
I don't know.
What is that?
He
dude?
just handed Terry
Just hand
something
me
in the
some
bag.
haggis. Oh, a gyro from Rudyard's next door. Next door. I'll tell you what.
Steve, come give me a hug, dude.
I think these guys understand.
Hey.
that there's a bar off of Ella called Rudyard's. It's a craft brew bar.
No,
Yeah.
I sell beer to them.
Right. And next door there's a Lebanese deli that has the best gyros in Houston. The best. You just serve me one of these. We're gonna
good
have a
stuff.
shot in a second. These are
I love your
incredible.
philosophy, though. I just want to say about what you're saying. People do love the
It's
sound
so-
of their own name. That comes straight out of how to make friends and influence people or
But
whatever.
it's all about relationships. Right?
Yeah.
It's all about relationships. Before I leave tonight, I'm going to go into my CRM. I'm going to make a note of how awesome a server Chelsea was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and then
Yeah.
when you do that, it helps you remember their name. You may not always
Yeah.
remember it, but
Yeah.
you're taking a step to try to remember it. And then when you do, I do the same thing. I don't use CRM, but I use Google, or I use my notes on my iPhone.
Yeah.
And I keep lots of notes. And the names is definitely, I talk to bartender
I do the
so-and-so.
same thing, yeah.
And I usually put the name of like the person, but also what they are. Bartender, bar back, whatever the case may be, just so I can kind of have some sort of, I don't remember half the time, but I go back to those notes like, okay, I go to such and such bar. Oh yeah, I talked to Brandy last time. Okay, I could talk to Craig or whoever.
You never know where somebody's going to end up either, because you have that much of an impact. Sorry. We're doing this outside, so it's a little bit loud. But you have that much of an impact on Casey, and you definitely didn't know that Casey was going to be somebody to grow within the industry and end up where he is
No,
now.
fast forward a couple, well, not even a couple of years after running Walker, you went to SpindleTap, correct? Is that the
Is
next?
that the next step?
I went to SpindleTap, and that was an easy transition, and that actually stemmed from my time at Specs. So shout out to Adam Wright, who's one of the owners of SpindleTap. As they were getting ready to open, Adam would come into the store and hey, we're about to open a brewery. It's called SpindleTap. We're gonna have cans like right off the bat, and we want to make sure that every place in Kingwood, which all those guys, Adam, Brody, David,
They're from there.
they all went to Kingwood High School.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that every place in Kingwood has our cans. And I was like, dude, like, let me know when you guys have them. I will bring them in and we'll sell them for you. And so I had that relationship with Adam. And so when I came to the point where I was like, man, I want to make a switch, I called Adam one day and said, man, like, I don't know if you guys are ready to hire salespeople or not, but if you're looking, I'd be interested to talking to you guys about the position. He's like, man, it's funny you called me because literally just yesterday we talked about hiring salespeople, and like it was 2 weeks later that I started at SpindleTap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so then him and I had our interaction at Crisp, but he was mainly there to sell beer to the establishment. So he probably talked to Ed or Tim or one of the other managers.
Yep, I did.
And then
I remember Tim.
Yeah. Tim, love Tim. Dude's awesome. But anyway.
I just wanted to add, I just got beer into Chris. I got
Yeah.
the Hawaiian Punch Sour.
Yeah, dude. Randy, shout out to Randy, dude. That guy's awesome.
Really
and
cool guy.
They got 25 beers on tap, and they rotate in the local guys, and they have some of the best food in town. They got great food.
To try 'em. I want to go up there for sure.
Food's great. But I wanted to get back to SpindleTap though, because he was at SpindleTap and they were looking to grow their team and they were wanting to grow their sales team. And my buddy Stephen Cummings had done he did a little sales with Back Pew, and he told me because him and I worked at Crisp together, and he got out of the serving gig to do the sales rep thing, and that kind of inspired me. And I was like, man, I kind of want to do that. I've been into beer for a long time. Why don't I specialize? The way I looked at it, like I'm getting into more of a niche part of this industry that I'm in. And so I saw that you guys were looking for a sales rep, and I did an interview with Leo, and I remember feeling
the sales manager at the time.
I mean, I think kind of by default,
Right.
I was the sales manager. I never really had the official title of sales manager, but when we were hiring sales reps, they wanted me to interview people and then make my recommendations.
Yeah.
He interviewed you?
Yeah, and I felt like I had killed my interview. I was like, man, that's great interaction. Me and Leo we've always had a good rapport and just good vibes between us. And
100%.
And so
Your
I felt
interview
like
was great, Casey.
I appreciate it.
You did nothing wrong.
No, and it wasn't that, honestly. I remember telling this. I've told the story a million times. But then I found out that John Denman had gotten the job. And I was kind of like, wow, you can't fucking be mad at John, dude. I would hire John over me too. So I remember hearing about John getting the job, and I was like, man, that was I can't be mad about that because John's such a good dude.
Walker for?
I was only there for 3 months.
3 months? How long were you at SpindleTap?
I was there for 4 months.
4 months.
4 months.
Oh,
Wait,
wow.
what now?
I'm sorry, 4 years.
4 years.
4 years
Okay,
at
I was like,
SpindleTap.
wait
Sorry.
a second.
So you were at Running Walker 3 months. So you were at SpindleTap for 4 years.
For 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you said that Specs opened up the door for you at SpindleTap, not Running Walker? They didn't see, like, oh,
No,
he's
well, Running Walker wasn't. When I got hired in Running Walker, they had just started. Like the week that I started, they had just started selling beer, and it was only draft.
Okay.
It was only
Were
draft.
they the ones that did the blood and honey?
No.
Okay.
That, I mean, you're thinking that's in Dallas.
Guns and Ammo or whatever.
Revolver?
Revolver.
Revolver.
You're thinking Revolver.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm.
Yeah, that's a much bigger brewery. Yeah, I mean they were bought by a bigger. I think they were.
What
bought
was
by
Running
another
Walker's
dog.
thing? Was it dog? Was it a
they
dog?
had a dog.
A dog? Oh, okay. That's
Yeah,
what it was.
so the owner of Running Walker was like a hunter, and the tap handles were super fucking cool because the tap handles had like a bobcat up in a tree and like 2 hound dogs
The
underneath.
brewery was
kinda like-
awesome, too. It was, but Tony was brewing up there for a while.
Tony was brewing up there for a while. Tony was after my time.
Yeah.
There was an older gentleman named Mike, who was from Germany. I can't pronounce his last name, so I'm sorry. But
But you said you were killing it with the Running Walker.
I mean, I did well. I mean, well enough for me at least. Like I remember.
Was that like back to back? Did you leave Running Walker and start at SpindleTap, or was there time between? Or
There was no time between. So basically, there was a big change made at Running Walker at the top of the leadership that I didn't really care for, and I was also a contractor. I was a 1099 employee, right? And so there was. I mean, I had no allegiance there really. So when they hired a guy to run the place, and I just felt that it just wasn't the right fit for me.
So you weren't a 1099 employee at SpindleTap?
I was not. I was a W-2 employee at SpindleTap from the get-go.
Yeah.
And that was something that I asked for. Like, hey, if I was to come on here, I want to be a W-2 employee.
I made that deal
Yeah.
when I came. I was a 1099 Back Pew. When I went to Megaton, I said I want to be a W-2 employee as well.
Right. Yeah.
And
I feel like if a brewery is really real about wanting to build a team of people that are committed to the success of that company, the W-2 is the right way to go, man.
Yeah.
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 Because otherwise, you're just a contractor and you're just doing it for you. You're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to feel like I'm a part of something.
Absolutely.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 years. You were a part of. You were big time a part of SpindleTap.
I mean, SpindleTap, man. Like,
when did you leave?
I left in 2020. It was during the pandemic, man, and and I left to go to Back Pew.
I definitely want to talk about Back Pew.
Yeah.
Because we share that we're like
we're part of
we're siblings in a way.
A kind of a large community of former Back Pew reps.
There's and I definitely want before we get into that SpindleTap. Can you tell me anything like something like significant story? Anything?
My favorite thing when I was working there, like, Adam was. I mean, he's the one that brought me in. Brody and Dave, love those guys, man. And we had some great times there. Like, initially it was a struggle. Trying to figure out what the identity of the brewery was. And then, the thing that really put the brewery on the map was Houston Haze, the hazy IPA. Like, at that point in beer history, the hazy IPA was like something that like was really growing.
And you were there for all that.
Treehouse and Trillium on the East Coast were like big names in there, and so there was other breweries that had attempted that style that didn't really. The market didn't really agree with like that if that was good or not.
Was that easy to sell at the time?
I think what really helped us out, like,
was that just easy?
We made that beer.
Yeah.
I remember tasting it, and I wasn't really a big fan of that style. I
remember you telling me that.
And I'm still really not a big hazy IPA guy.
And there's our
Did
hazy.
it sell itself though? Did it just like?
It kind of did, and I think what really helped out was a blog post. Back then, man, I don't even remember the name of the blog, but it was the one that was really popular in Houston.
Yeah.
That talked a lot about Houston beer, and
not Sylvia's.
It's the one that Sylvia took over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Houston
Beer Guide.
Beer Guide.
Houston Beer Guide.
Yeah,
Houston Beer Guide was a big blog that wrote about beer, and they had a guy that kind of was like an expert on hazy IPAs, and his blog post, the title of the blog post was SpindleTap Nails It, right? And that was after other local breweries had attempted to make a hazy IPA.
Yeah.
And so he wrote that. And
that must have been an exciting time to be a part of
That was
SpindleTap.
exciting. It was exciting. And I love telling that story because we made that beer. We were kind of struggling, right? And Brody was like, I hope this really works out, right? Like, we need this to work.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, man, I think it kind of is. Like, that blog post is gaining traction. And at that time, I took a week off for vacation. Me and my brother were in Big Bend, which, if you've never been to Big Bend,
Incredible.
it's an incredible place. It's probably my favorite place on earth. There's not a lot of cell service out there. And so the Saturday morning that we were doing the Houston Haze release at the brewery, we were selling advanced 4-packs, whatever, pre-sales or whatever.
Yeah.
We didn't know how it was going to go. And I remember that morning, me and my brother were on a hike up in the mountains with no cell service. And I guess at some point, we had got to some place where I all of a sudden had cell service, and my phone was literally exploded with notifications of people who are like, "Hey, are you at SpindleTap right now? Can you save me a 4-pack?" Like,
Yeah.
and
That's
Brody
awesome.
had sent me pictures of the freaking line out
Yeah.
the brewery of all the people waiting to come and buy the beer, and that was the turning point, man.
Yeah.
That was the.
What
turning
year was
point. That was 2017.
Yeah.
That was 2017.
I just
Oh,
remember
man.
there was
Fucking-
a moment where somebody's like, "Have you tried the hazy beers that SpindleTap's making?" And then I was like, I got to get over there. I got to start trying everything.
I gotta tell you, man, that was the most exciting time in beer for me.
2017 was the year.
Like, because we were out there, me and the other salespeople were out there every day, pushing Honey Hole, Tool Pusher, which was my favorite beer, Hop Gusher IPA, which eventually became my favorite beer.
That was
Like,
mine for a long time.
And it was tough, man. It was tough. I think there was a negative vibe about SpindleTap. And you can ask Brody, man. Like, Brody was like, remember when we were known as Spindle Crap? Yeah. And we had to overcome all of that stuff. We had to overcome all this stuff because we were making quality beer, but there was just something, a negative, whatever it was, about the brewery that we had to overcome. And the hazy IPAs helped us overcome that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was exciting because
Yeah.
then everybody was like, well, can we have some of that? And I was like, sure, but can you also buy kegs of Honey Hole, Tool Pusher, Hop Gusher, and if you want the hazy IPAs, you have to buy these,
Yeah.
right?
You know what?
And-
I think Jared said something to me about. I guess back in the day when Megaton first opened,
Yeah.
there was a period where we had other breweries on tap, and
Yeah.
and he
I was
said-
trying to get beer from Leo.
Megaton initially when you guys first opened, you guys had
But
some
you-
SpindleTap beer on tap.
You told me
Yeah.
back then exactly what you just said now.
yeah.
You told me the
Jared
exact
told
same
me
thing.
a story where he said he was trying to get a hazy beer from you, and you wouldn't sell it to him unless he ordered something else.
Yep.
And you no.
Hey, that's the power that we had back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunately that's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Like the hazy IPA beer is just like, okay,
That's crazy. That's
What's
leverage
next?
right there.
Right,
Right?
yeah. I want to say we might have picked up like Honey Hole on top of it or something else, like to try to get it. When we were at Megaton trying to get diamonds or whatever we were trying, heavy
Right.
hands, whatever the next best thing was at the time.
Yeah.
And I remember I was really big about getting it, and Jared was big about getting it, and I was in charge of getting the guest tap on, and it was my first experience dealing with that, but I had just enough of a relationship with you that I was, felt like you'd shoot me straight, and you did. You just kind of told me like, hey, if you want to
mean-
have that, allocate it to you.
So do you guys know what the beer that you cannot get on the shelf anymore is? The one beer right now, which has been last like 6 weeks.
Oh, the apple.
Bush
Bush
Light Apple.
Yeah.
But let me
Okay.
repeat
that's
this
all you
name.
have to. That's all you have to know about how
Let me
cyclical
repeat this
beer
name.
is.
Crap beer's dead.
Bush Light Apple. Are you kidding me? There is 1,000 better beers than Bush Light Apple.
There was an HEB beer and wine manager that posted on Facebook a
Yep.
few weeks ago. It said, "This is here. You can only have one case or
Yeah.
one 12-pack.
Yeah.
One 12-pack per
That's
customer."
Bush Light. Bush Light
Apple juice with some alcohol in it.
I bought Bush beer in 1986 for $1.41 a 6-pack.
Well, that's it. So that's the other
It's too
part of
much
it.
money.
That's the other part. This apple beer is also cheap.
It's too much money.
Oh, here
Did you
comes the
see-
shots.
Oh, our shots.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
this
also
like
the samples.
Oh, this is
Okay, Leo. So I think that's amazing, and I don't think I've ever had that kind of leverage in the beer community.
man. And
That's
and
crazy.
I wish you would have that, and I think you may have that one day, maybe, hopefully.
That's something
things come
crazy
back
for me to
around.
even think about, that you could be like, yeah, I'm only selling you this hazy beer if you buy a Honey Hole.
Yeah,
That's great, though.
yeah.
But you also didn't have every brewery making hazy IPAs at the time.
Absolutely.
And you
so
didn't
we
have hazy IPAs from all over the country
we
over
took
here.
that opportunity to leverage our sales.
It was
right?
you and Baba at the time. It was.
I think Baba was the other one that was making really great beer.
B52?
B52 also
Yeah.
has some great hazies back then.
Great Heights kind of did some hazies early on.
And also,
Fruity
you know,
Pellets.
What's this?
I mean, and
That's
I think it's the Prairie Essential. I don't know if they pulled the tap earlier.
Prairie Essential.
Yes.
Smells sour.
it's sour.
It's a sour.
That's no. I just.
Is this Prairie S, tiny
Smells
S's?
funky.
Yes, Tiny S's.
So this is the one that tastes like Skittles.
And that's
I
what
saw
it
this
says.
on the
this
menu.
is Tiny S's?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Yes.
yeah, I know Tiny
I
S's.
thought you was another one.
It's
you
a
were talking-
great sour.
Okay,
And
yeah.
you know what? And by the way, I didn't mean to interrupt you guys.
I've had this one. Yeah. Oh, that's good.
I like it. It's
That
like
is Skittles.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite
If
ones
you
from
guys get
Prairie.
a chance, Jester King is a great brewery to go see.
Phenomenal brewery.
I beat the
And a
rep in
great
Mario
place to
Kart the
see.
other day.
What
Yeah.
a great brewery.
I've been there once,
It was awesome.
and it was
I love
amazing. Yeah.
I have a 4-pack of the collab they did with Prairie waiting for me. Gail Courtney is holding a 4-pack for me.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's called, I think it's called Goats in the Machine.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
want
saw
one.
your
Yeah.
4-pack at the brewery the other day. Me and Cody were talking about having a holder's fee.
No, no.
All right, here's our shot of Don Julio.
Another one.
Go Colts, by the
Wait,
way.
No orange this
This
time.
is not the 42.
This is
19
not
No,
the
this is-
1942.
This is not the nice
This
one.
is 2005.
This is the cheap one. It,
We'll take
only,
the cheap one.
it costs you like $15 a glass.
That one was definitely a little more harsh.
No orange either.
Yeah, a little more harsh. Whoo! Terry, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you, Terry.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank
by the
you.
way.
But man,
right.
you know, amazing time at SpindleTap, man. Like those days when we were selling those hazy IPAs, man. Like it was so nice to have leverage, and we enjoyed it
Yeah.
while it lasted.
I met some great people in those beer lines.
Leo, where are those guys from SpindleTap from? They're from Kingwood.
They're all from Kingwood, man.
Yeah.
David, Brody, Adam.
First keg
Yeah.
here at Mojo's.
That's right. That's right. My first customer again after Running Walker, SpindleTap
Oh, shit.
was right here.
First keg for SpindleTap.
So why did you? And you don't have to answer this if you don't. Why did you leave SpindleTap for Back
Difference
Pew?
of opinion.
Difference of opinion.
There was people I didn't get along with, and just felt that there was better ways to do things, and Back Pew was.
When was
Had
this?
been-
What
had
year is
been-
this?
This is 2020.
Okay.
Back Pew had been recruiting me for well over a year.
So Bobby wanted you.
Bobby and Randy wanted me, and I was like, no, no, no. And then eventually I was like, okay, I'll listen. Tell me what you got. And decided to move, man, you know. And
How long were you at Back Pew for?
I was there for 9 months. I was
9
there for 9 months.
When did you leave Back Pew?
I left Back Pew in 2021.
2020. So I started Back Pew in 2022. I didn't know that we were that close.
We didn't quite overlap, but
Wait.
yeah, 2021. You know what, man? Like Back Pew, they make some great beer.
Yeah.
I mean, they really do. I don't know if they'll listen to this episode or not, man.
He might. He's coming on the podcast.
Because I love everybody that works there. It's just very difficult to be successful there as a salesperson because I feel like the expectations are a little bit too much. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fair. I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that. It's not
I
a-
agree,
it's
but
not like
I
you're the
also
only person
think
that's ever
the
said
best
that.
reps came out of Back Pew. I think that.
I mean, there's a lot of really great reps that have come out. I mean, I think, Brandon, I've told you this
yeah.
countless times that I think you're one of the best reps in the game.
Yep.
Appreciate
You know,
that. I think same thing. Back to
Sherry
both of you.
Shapilo, great friend of mine. She was an OG rep at Back Pew, right?
And the
who
buyer
now
at
lives in Galveston.
Bruchachos and
That's Sherry.
yeah.
That's Sherry. Fantastic.
Did
rep.
y'all work together at Back Pew?
We did not. So when she was at Back Pew, I was at SpindleTap,
Okay.
and we would see each other in the market all the time, and we developed a friendship. And she was kind of a neighbor. She
Yeah.
didn't live very far from where I live in Kingwood. But yeah, man, lots of great reps. I mean, Taylor,
Yeah.
who now works at Distill, was a fantastic rep. It still is a fantastic rep.
Great rep.
Steve Von Grimm,
Yeah.
who worked at Distill also, who now lives in Washington. Fantastic beer rep, man. Like there's been a lot of great reps.
Great reps out of Back Pew.
that have come through Back Pew. Just unfortunately,
Thank
couldn't
you.
make it work there.
Yeah.
Couldn't make it work there. You know. I loved working
You were the
there.
team leader when you were there?
I was the sales manager. They hired me as a sales manager. I hired my own team.
Did any of those people you mentioned work with you?
No,
No.
they were all people that came from different
Okay.
places. I'm not gonna drop any names.
Yeah.
But except for one, and he was there when I got there. Matthew Valdez is one of the best beer reps and one of the best people I've ever known in beer. Man, if you hear this, I fucking love you, brother. And he, when he left Back Pew, he went to SpindleTap,
Okay.
but he's not in beer anymore. He's a musician, one of the best like rappers, hip hop people that I know locally. Yeah, his name he goes by Bad Child. Follow him on Spotify.
Spotify.
Bad
okay.
Child with the beats.
Word.
Yeah, yeah. If you've ever listened to my podcast, my intro.
What was your
and out-
podcast called?
Texas Beer Experience.
And when did you do that?
I did that for a few years. I started it when I was at Back Pew.
At Back Pew you started it?
When it was at Back Pew when I started it, and it kind of started during the pandemic, because I kind of was like, I need something else to do. Like,
Yeah.
I was kind of bored.
Yeah.
I want to talk about beer, because a lot of bars weren't open at that time.
Did you always include Ronnie Rissner in that, or I know he was a part of it?
Ronnie was part of it later on in the journey. When I first started, I had a couple other co-hosts that moved on to other parts of the country. Bobby Beasley was one of them. I think he's in Colorado right now. He works at he works at Upslope in Colorado. Yeah. But yeah, man, we did the podcast for a little while, but Matthew was
How was the
a good
podcast? I've
friend.
never listened. I'm sorry. I should have checked it out before.
That's all right, man. No, it was just me just wanting to talk about beer, and I had a bunch of relationships in beer.
And so you had guests on
I
it?
had guests, that were buyers, that were other brewery people. Fantastic interviews.
Is the podcast still up where people can...
all the major podcast carriers that you can find, like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, it's on there.
Yeah.
I actually have an episode in the bag that I haven't put out yet.
Oh, really?
I recorded it in December as my last podcast, and I haven't put it out because I thought that maybe I might want to keep it going, but I know that I don't want to keep it going. And so I'm going to put it out soon. And it was a conversation. Of course, I've had beer, and now names are foggy. James Simpson from another great beer show
What's on
called
tap?
What's on Tap Radio that's been going for a long, long time. And if you don't listen to that one, you should, because it's a great show. And James has been doing it for a long, long time. So my last show was a conversation with James.
That's cool.
Yeah,
If you ever do start the podcast up, I would love...
I won't.
Oh, well, I was
I
saying I
won't.
would love to be on it.
Why
I
not?
won't. I just don't have the desire for it anymore, man. I
Yeah.
don't. And there's better people that are doing it now. This is why I'm on this podcast today, because there's better people doing it. Yeah.
Different people.
So it's not because craft beer's dead.
Craft beer's not dead.
Craft beer
I
is
think
not
we've already
dead.
settled that. At least I've settled that.
It's like poking
like
the
for
bear.
me. For me.
Yeah.
'Cause
Same
I
here.
wanna
No,
keep-
I love Eric, but craft beer is not dead.
Yeah.
No. And that the brewery that he's involved with, man, I don't know like what they feel, but like to me, that brewery, Equal Parts, shout out to them. I think they make the best beer in Houston.
I do too. So
When I was at SpindleTap, they might not like hearing this, but like I would tell Matt, the owner brewer from Equal Parts, back then it was Sigma. I was like, man, you make the best hazies in town. And I still feel that way.
Yeah.
I still feel that way. Yeah.
They don't make a bad beer. So here's what I'm going to go out on a limb and say, because I thought about it earlier today before we get started with all this, because I love Eric, and I love, aside from Eric, I love just the beer from Equal Parts, and I love Equal Parts. We visit their tap room quite a bit, me and my wife. For people who live in Kingwood, that's like when we go downtown for a game or just whatever, what have you. We'd like to visit there. My wife especially, like, she likes the place. I like the place. We go there quite a bit. So we support that place. But I will say this, from the outside looking in, marketing's not as good. It's not up to snuff.
You don't feel that way? No?
They could do a little bit more marketing.
Yeah.
I think they struggle with maybe a social media person or something like that. Because from what I've heard, it's a little bit like, oh, they do it, or sometimes so-and-so does it, or it's never like a dedicated person. And I honestly think they're missing out, because they'll have events for things like, I don't know, like music bingo with me. And they don't promote them very well. And then when people don't show up for those events, what are you supposed to do about that? And you could say like, oh, well, there was an Astros game in town tonight, so a lot of people are there. And I'm like, I guess. You wouldn't know, though, if you don't promote, then you can't have that argument. So you can't just assume and not promote it, because you're like, well, there's an Astros game.
Well, I just know that as far as from a beer perspective, they're the best in quality of beer for me.
I agree, but their tap room is slow. I go by there. I see it being slow.
Yeah.
I go in there and I'm like, where's everybody? I went there on a Friday night to do music bingo. Mind you, there was an Astros game in town that night. I don't give a fuck. There was not a lot of people in there, but I guarantee you, I've been doing music bingo for fucking 4 years now, however long.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, if it's promoted, people do show up. It just has to get promoted. And my point is that they're not marketing themselves on social media, where it's free as fuck to do so.
Social media is free.
And I'm not trying to downgrade their brewery. I love their beer. It's my favorite brewery. So but I'm saying this on this podcast because I don't know if it'll find the right ears or whatever, but I think marketing is a big part, and that's the easy. It's
if you're
free.
listening, go to Equal Parts. Go.
For sure.
And then
the beer
also
is
go
the
to
best.
the other
your local
breweries.
breweries, but yes, go to Equal Parts.
Visit all breweries. But
Marketing's free. You're saying true things, and it's not criticism. It's there. If there's holes, if you're upset and you're posting on social media that craft beer is dead, and you're wondering why you're not hitting the numbers you want to be hitting, there's solutions. And Casey's just saying, here's maybe something you
that's
can
free.
look at.
That's
it's
free.
free. It's free to do it.
So that makes it easy in and of itself. You just have to post stuff.
From a marketing perspective, like, I'm not sure what their philosophy is, but from working at a marketing agency and kind of learning how that kind of works, like, you have to find the audience. You have to find your audience.
Sorry, can I get that the Megaton beer I asked for, the Kolsch 45? Oh,
Hey, time to sell another keg.
I did swing by yesterday and check the keg.
I don't know if it's the keg or if they just stopped selling.
Oh.
They said yeah, we're out.
Hold on. Let me pull up the menu really quick. I cannot.
Pull up the menu and
No, I get.
It's old. It's okay.
do you have any beer questions?
You don't drink beer, Chelsea? You don't drink beer?
She's
You're,
not
oh,
old
you're
enough to
18.
drink. No.
You're 18.
All right.
Well, we are mentioning you on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
We
then
said
we think
nice
you're doing a
things.
great
You
job.
said that the Durham Dry was delicious.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, good.
I thought it was good.
I'll go with that.
I guess I'll get one of those as well. Yeah.
This is old.
What is that?
Juicy Bits from Greeley.
Is it old?
It's
Can I
old
get
as fuck.
something to drink? Let me
Oh.
try this old juicy bits.
It's not juicy and it's a bit shitty. Nope. It's awful.
I'm going to Baba tomorrow.
That's
You
straight
want me to
awful.
grab you anything?
Yeah, anything. Anything. I like their IPAs and sours that don't have chocolate or nuts in them.
Okay.
They put a lot of nuts and
Can I
chocolate
tell
in
you
their
guys
shit.
about my favorite breweries?
Yeah, well, we were going to get that's always our last
well,
question.
I do have more questions because I'm not even done with Back Pew.
Okay, let's
But-
keep
but-
going on
but
Back
if you
Pew.
wanna-
We'll get back to that.
But if
Okay.
you want to tell us your top 5 breweries, you can.
Well, if you have more questions about Back Pew, let's go there.
We're not done with you unless you got somewhere you got to be.
I mean, I'm gonna go home eventually.
yeah.
I hope.
No, you're not.
We still haven't gotten to Mushies in Vegas yet.
We've had 2 shots of tequila and a few beers. So
No
Yeah,
Mushies
well,
yet.
I didn't
though.
ask for tequila. Just to put
we did
that-
not. We did not ask for
Nobody,
tequila.
nobody here asked for it. Maybe he's got it though.
Yeah. And mushrooms in Vegas. Oh my God. Like, how much time do we got?
We don't have that much.
Dude, no, we have
It's
plenty of time.
9:30.
Do you have your top 5 breweries ready to go?
I mean, probably. I think. For me, I think. Well, obviously, I just mentioned Equal Parts, which is my number 1. I would say.
They're on my list too.
And in no particular order, I love True Anomaly. Shout out to my Mexicans at Turkey Forest.
Nice, yeah.
Man,
They're awesome.
they make such great beer.
They make such great beer.
And man, like, it just, I don't think people know. People,
It
Yeah,
blows
people
my
sleep on it.
mind.
know that this tiny little brewery at Big Al Craft Brew House off of Airline Drive, that there is some fantastic beer that people are missing out on.
That's
I
why
mean,
they were
I've
one of the
never
first
had a
places
bad
we
beer
did.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never had a bad beer there.
Great customer service. Great
Oh,
customer.
they're
100%.
Yeah.
100% great customer service.
Everybody, I feel like family when I walk in there. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Man, I think I'm gonna botch my list because I'm kind of buzzing a little bit
Yeah, because
But-
the shots.
because of the shots. But I mean, the breweries I've mentioned are fantastic, man. Like, and St. Arnold is
Yeah.
gonna be on that list because that's the OG brewery. They're the ones that brought me into craft beer. Brock and Lonnie and those guys have done a fantastic job making good quality beer, and they have nailed their marketing. They're I would venture to say that's the brewery that's never going to be in trouble. They make fantastic beer, and
Yeah.
their marketing is top notch.
St. Arnold.
St. Arnold. St. Arnold.
Yeah.
So what breweries have we named so far? Just so.
True Anomaly, Equal Parts, St.
Turkey
Arnold,
Forest.
Turkey Forest,
Is it just those 4? So you got one more?
New Magnolia.
New Magnolia.
New Mag.
I love New Magnolia, man.
I can get on board with that all day.
Ennio Pils, their Italian Pilsner, is one of the best beers in Houston.
Yep.
Yeah, and their light beer, Heights Light,
Yeah.
One of
Just
the
in
best
general,
beers.
they kind of kill it on Krispies.
they do.
They do
They
other
do.
styles great too, but that's where they really
Absolutely.
their bread and
And
butter
that's,
is.
That's the thing that, as a brewery, you have to know your lane. Know your lane. Like for us at Galveston, multi beers, those are our bread and butter,
Yeah.
right? We make good IPAs. We do. My favorite beer is Mathis Hard, which is a double IPA,
I was gonna ask about that. It's 9.2.
9.2%. And it doesn't drink like a 9.2,
And that's
which
not
is
you don't see those
fucking
as much.
dangerous.
And it's in cans too, so it's
It's
not
in
just like
cans.
it's like a one-off. Oh, we did a big beer. No, y'all put it in cans.
It's a year-round beer. It's a
Wow.
year-round beer that you can find in the market.
It's incredible. So all
Not
those
in
people
a
that are
ton
looking
of
for those
places.
doubles.
But it's a great double IPA. It's my
Yeah.
favorite beer that we make.
Mm.
That's the beer that I drink on Sundays. I have a keg at the house,
That's why he doesn't leave the house.
and I don't leave the house on Sunday.
You told us that. I said I thought we were doing the
Yeah.
podcast on a Sunday. Casey, like it's Father's Day, and
'Cause he's
Leo
over
said he
there.
has to leave the house
No.
on Sunday.
Math is hard.
I just had 8 of these.
yeah. I'll have like 5 or 6 of those on a Sunday, and it's beautiful. I love that beer. But we make great multi beers at Galveston Island, man. Like, and we've won every award that we've won over the years has been for a multi beer.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, there you go.
yeah.
Malt
That's what
forward
we
is
know.
the key.
That's what we know, and that's what we're good at.
So you left Back Pew in 2021.
I did.
Okay.
I did. Not knowing where I was going to go when I put my notice in.
So you left abruptly, is what you're saying.
Kind of. I was just kind of like, this is my time here is done, right?
I
Like,
was
it's time
at-
to move on.
I was at Back Pew yesterday,
Yeah.
and I went up to Bobby and asked him to be on the podcast, and he said yes.
Good.
Wow.
And man, Bobby Bobby is one of the most brilliant guys in craft beer. Like, just fucking brilliant. He knows his shit about beer. He knows his shit.
You gotta, as a
Yeah.
former podcast host, you got a question I gotta ask Bobby on the podcast.
How the fuck do you stay so focused every day?
How do you stay? Okay, we're gonna have to write that
No,
down.
how the fuck
How
do you
the
stay
fuck
focused every day?
Leo wants to know. How the fuck do you stay focused? So focused every day. Okay, so we're definitely gonna ask him.
I gotta pee. I'll be
You
back.
gotta pee. Okay.
We'll wait on Cody, but me and Brandon will keep talking, yes?
No, let's keep talking about. Oh, here's my beer.
Beers are coming.
Beer.
Beer's here.
And this is also the North Shepherd, the Durham Drive.
Durham Drive from North
Durham
Shepherd.
Drive, yeah. Cheers to North Shepherd. Really sad to see them go.
I hate that they're closing, man, because they
Yeah.
make good beer. They make good beer. Yeah. Yeah.
Copperhead too. Sad to see them go. It's
Yeah, man. Yeah. King
Back-
of Terrors.
What's up?
King of Terrors from Copperhead. I mean,
Medusa.
for me, I feel like that was their bread and butter. I mean, it's a barrel aged beer.
Wasn't it Medusa? I felt like Medusa.
Medusa was a great beer, also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I still have a 4-pack
Striker
of Medusa in my
IPA.
fridge. Yeah.
Striker IPA. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Back Pew. 9 months. What were some of the beers you got to sell when you were there?
Man, my favorite beer when I was there, and it still is Bronx Stomper.
Okay.
Was the double
That's
IPA
on tap here right now.
that came out during rodeo time.
Yeah.
It's so funny that my
You were
favorite
there when they
beers-
did the rodeo beers for the first time?
No, they had already done the rodeo beers before I got there.
I think I did it the third year, so you did it the second year. So you did it the year before I did it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So they had Bronx Stomper. What was the other rodeo beer?
It was Mud and Bustin', which
Mud
was
and
the
Bustin', the
strawberry.
strawberry Kolsch.
Yeah.
The strawberry Kolsch. Fantastic beer.
Great.
But Bronx Stomper, that was my beer, man.
I sold the shit out of Bronx
I
Stomper.
fucking love Bronx Stomper. Fantastic. And I just kind of love double IPAs. You know?
His beer was easy to sell, and he was making so much of it that we could sell it very cheap.
Yeah.
It was definitely some of the cheapest beer to sell. And not saying that the
Good
quality
quality.
was
Good
quality
quali-
is great.
No, quality
Yeah.
was great, man.
Quality was
From-
great. I'm
from
just saying he made so
Blue
much of it.
Testament, Hyperlight, Bronx Stomper,
But I'm saying
Black
a slim
Habit,
of that. a
Black
slim-
Habit.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Black Habit for
Black
just
Habit? Yeah.
10 seconds? Probably the best
Schwarzbier?
Schwarzbier
Yeah.
in the market. 100%. I love that beer.
It's great. It's a great beer.
Love that beer.
They did it before other people were doing Swart beer. I
Yeah.
started seeing all the Swart
Yeah.
beers popping up after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and the beers. I don't know, man. Like a slim of Hyper Light was like $45.
It was cheap.
A slim of
It was cheap.
Lucy was like $55.
I hate a Lucy, but
hate
I also
it?
don't like Hefeweizens.
Yeah.
Hefeweizens and Saisons. No, thank you.
So
Yeah.
you left Back Pew,
I did.
and how long was it until Galveston Island happened?
So I left Back Pew not necessarily knowing where I was going to go. I just kind of knew that it was time to move on. Over the years of working
your
craft
beers,
beer, I love building relationships, right? And so I met Mark and Charday from Galveston Island Brewing at an event in Beaumont when I was working for SpindleTap.
Well, so they're married.
No.
Sorry.
I think you might say that they might be,
Sorry.
if they hear this, they might be pissed off at me, but they're work wife and work husband.
Okay, just the way you said it, I wasn't
and,
sure.
and it's funny because, like, they fight like work wife and work husband.
Nice. That's nice.
But man, like if you don't fight for what you believe in, you're doing it wrong. But anyway, man, like I became fast friends with Mark and Charday. I did a podcast episode there before I even worked there, when I was doing my podcast, just because I just love them. They're just true, genuine people.
Yeah.
And so when I decided to leave Back Pew, in the back of my mind, I knew that they were working on an expansion, and they were looking to expand into the rest of Houston, because they weren't really selling into Houston. They were coming up basically into the south side of of Beltway 8.
So you were the first one to move their brand.
I was the rep that had the experience with the distributor that they signed with, which was Silver Eagle.
It was Silver Eagle then?
Right. Okay. Yeah. So like Silver Eagle was our distributor when I worked at SpindleTap.
Yeah.
And so I already had the relationships there. And so when I decided to leave Back Pew, I was like, where am I going? And I knew that Mark and Charday were going to expand into the northern market of Houston. And so I texted Mark one day and said, hey man, like, do you need a rep to help you in Houston with Silver Eagle? And he's like, I think it's worth a conversation. Like, tell me when you want to come by and talk about it. And I did. And I went through an interview process, and I was hired, and I started on my birthday.
Wow.
Which I love the fact that I started on my birthday, because
awesome.
I celebrate my birthday and the anniversary at the brewery
Yeah,
on the same day.
There was a post about it. And I didn't realize that it was actually the same day, but I saw that it was like your anniversary for 4 years there, and your birthday. Yeah.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
this was
So 4 years
Memorial
now.
Day weekend this year.
Yeah.
2025 was my 4-year anniversary
Yeah.
at Galveston Island.
4
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I was at SpindleTap for 4 years and 1 month. So literally next week I will tie my record at a brewery
Awesome.
of 4 years and 1 month. And so I think Mark is going to keep me. I hope Mark keeps me. I love working there, man. Like they're just great people, man.
Yeah.
I
That's great.
love it. Like I want to say this. I did interview for a job at another brewery last year. I'm not going to say who it was. But I'm glad I didn't get that job because I really love where I'm at. I just wanted to see if there was something else out there, and it didn't work out, and I'm glad it didn't,
Yeah.
because I love where I'm at.
Yeah.
I really do.
You wouldn't. There's not a part of you that wants to run a bigger team like you've done in the past?
There is a part of that, like, but we're not there yet, because while craft beer is not dead, craft beer is
Not dead.
struggling,
Yeah. Alcohol's in
little bit.
decline. Yeah.
right?
I think we're turning it
So-
around. I just want to say that. I want to put that out there. I have a very positive mindset on this, and I
I do
think we're
too.
turning this around.
I do too, and it might take a year or two, maybe more. I don't know.
But
I
it
don't
takes
know.
us actively doing things to make that change. We
Yeah.
can't just sit here and just
You're
watch and
absolutely
wait
right.
for it to happen.
You're
We
absolutely
need
right.
to actively be making, like Casey's saying, doing more events, being, like I'm saying, being more welcoming, and just there's
Yeah.
just little things. Social media.
Yeah, being welcoming is such a. I find that even just anywhere you go nowadays, I find that people just don't know how to be welcoming. I like watch them, and I'm like, I was in customer service and that kind of thing for so long that I'm like, how is this so hard for some people to understand what they need to do to make people feel welcome somewhere? You don't even have to know everything about what you're selling to know. Like,
It's getting the right people, but you also have to pay the people that are working for you for them to be in that mindset.
right?
People have to get paid.
Yeah.
And I am getting paid. I will say, and I'm just being upfront and honest. I'm not making what I was making at SpindleTap.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm happy.
That's
And
important.
sometimes, all the time, happiness is way better than money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Studies have been done on that.
Yeah. I'm not saying that I was never happy at SpindleTap.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that I'm
You're
happier.
happier.
I'm happier
Yeah.
where I am now.
Yeah.
Making a little bit less money,
Yeah.
but knowing the opportunity that we have at Galveston to grow and continue a pretty amazing story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
in the future for Galveston right now?
I mean, we like I mentioned earlier, we make great malty beers, award-winning malty beers. Last year, we won a gold medal at the World Beer Cup for our Marchtoberfest beer. It was a Marzen-style beer that Jason, our head brewer, had been wanting to make for years. Got the opportunity to make it. So we do a halfway to Oktoberfest festival that started last year, and that was the time to try this new recipe. We submitted it to the World Beer Cup, and we won a gold medal.
Do you know against how many breweries?
I mean, I'm not sure how many breweries, but I know that the brewery that won the bronze was a German brewery. So we beat a German brewery
At their own style.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, and
That's a good feeling.
and
Yeah.
we will wear that badge of honor
These are blind judges,
to the day
right?
to the day that we die. That
Do you
we
know how they
beat a
do-
German brewery in making an Oktoberfest, a Marzen style beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know how
Yeah.
they do the judging?
I mean, it's. I want to say it's a panel of people that know what good beer tastes like. So we won that gold medal in 2024. In 2025, we didn't win.
Yeah.
We had negative feedback on that beer.
Interesting.
That Jason, our head brewer, said, I kind of have a feeling why we didn't win this year.
It was the same beer.
It was the same beer, but there was something that he did different that may have changed the opinion of that. Because in 2024 we won gold at World Beer Cup and we won silver at the Great American Beer Festival for the same beer.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah.
I won a gold medal. I'm going to change something about this now. Right?
Yeah. And so Jason said, we're going to do it the way we did it in 2024 from moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we won medals at the Texas Beer Cup this year for 2 of our malty beers. We won for Bluebird Amber that has actually won at Great American Beer Fest in the past. We also won for Brown Ale this year. So, again, malty beers
Yeah.
are kind of our bread and butter.
Yeah. You
Are
guys
you
Yeah.
going this year?
I'm sorry?
The Great American Beer Festival.
We will submit beers.
Are
We
you,
will
are
submit
you
beers.
going to go?
We won't be there. We probably won't go.
I'm thinking about going. I'm just looking for people to hang
If
out
you've
with.
never been, you should go.
I'm going.
You should go, even if nobody
I want
that you
Casey
know
to
is
come with me.
going.
We'll do a podcast.
I would love to go, but I want to
Yeah?
go for free.
Hey, if
I
you
wanna be
guys want to
invited.
go, I might join. If you guys want to go for like one day, because
Yeah.
I've actually done that when I was at SpindleTap one year.
Yeah.
I literally flew on the Saturday for the award ceremony
Yeah.
and flew back the same day.
I'm
Yeah.
just thinking about getting like a cheap
Yeah.
ticket. I got
Yeah.
friends that live in Denver.
Flights to Denver are usually not that expensive.
No,
I flew Sprint and it was super cheap.
Spirit, right?
Or Spirit. I flew Spirit. Super cheap, less than $200
Yeah.
to go back.
Yeah.
To go to Denver and come back on the same
That's
day.
what I was looking at. I think I was looking at like
Yeah.
$180 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad.
You should. Hey, you should go, man.
I'm trying
If
to.
you've
I'm trying
never
to get this
been-
guy to come do a. Just now, I decided I want him to come do a podcast.
If
I'm
you've never
down.
been, it's worth the trip. It's worth the whatever money it costs
We'll
to
just
go.
stay with Paul Carter. I don't know if he's listening to this, but Paul Carter's my buddy I worked with at Ingenious that lives in Denver now. And I know he got to work it last year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you should go.
Leo.
You should go to, and you need to go to the festival
Well,
one day.
okay, let's go. Let's go, bro. Let's go.
Let's go to GABF.
We'll do a podcast in Denver.
Sweet. I'm down.
I may join you guys.
You want to come do a podcast
I
with us
might.
in Denver?
I might.
Let's go.
I might.
That'd be cool.
If I can wrangle Jason, our head brewer, to come with me,
All right.
We'll go.
All right. I'm down.
We'll go.
I'm
down.
going. I'm already
When
going.
is the date? When is?
It's October the
Something.
It's
October something.
It's like the 11th. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't
whatever.
know.
It's in October.
It's in October.
Yeah.
Can make it work.
If you've never been and you work in the beer industry, go.
Yeah.
Don't make an excuse.
I
Just
want to go. I did
Just
want to
go.
get Megaton. Megaton told me last year that they were going to pay for me to go, and then I didn't get to go. But this year I said, "Fuck it, I don't even care." I even told Chris, I'm like, "I'm going."
Chris, if you listen to this episode, pay for Brandon to go, please.
I don't know if he listens.
Cody Evans, if you're listening to this episode,
I laughed way too hard at that.
pay for
I
Casey
think
to
Cody
go.
listens.
Cody does listen. Yeah.
Casey needs to go to JBF.
Leo, I'm not.
He's
I'm
gonna be
not-
like,
I'm not trying
tell
to
Casey to
brag.
sell more beer, which he's already like, fuck.
I'm not trying to brag, but we have a little bit of a listenership right now. There are people that are listening to this every
That's
single
great,
week.
man.
It's kind
Love
of
it.
cool. Probably a lot of people you know. So if you want to say anything,
Hey, listen to this podcast,
Yeah.
motherfuckers.
yeah,
Visit breweries and listen to podcasts
Listen
about
to-
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
do that.
yeah.
Those things.
Do it.
Okay.
Do it. Support the
So-
the industry.
We're almost at the end of this thing. Galveston Island happens.
Dude, so
And then everybody forever gets Galveston Bay mixed up with Galveston Island. It drives you crazy.
it does well.
It drives you a
maybe
little. Yeah, it
a
does.
little bit.
You were
A little
honest.
bit.
Because Galveston Bay isn't in Galveston. I think that's the biggest
know.
rub.
No. They're in Galveston County. They're in Galveston County.
Mm-hmm.
They are, 100%. And let me tell you, man, like my guys at Galveston Bay, I fucking love those guys, man.
They're great.
Oh, I love, yeah.
Skylar's
I
awesome.
love
All those
Skylar.
I only know
guys.
Skylar,
Rudy.
but that dude's great.
Skylar, Rudy, Ray.
Rudy's
Those
awesome.
are some of my best friends in beer, and we share a name
yeah.
in the Galveston name. Those guys, they make great beer. They're in Clear Lake Shores. They're in Galveston County, but they're not on the island. We're Galveston Island Brewing.
It's just
Island
you and
boy.
Naked Iguana now, right?
Us, Naked Iguana,
Devil in the Deep's
and
moving.
and Devil in the Deep is not leaving Galveston. Actually,
Oh, I thought they were going to
they're opening. Their main place is going to be in League City, but they're going to maintain a tap room in Galveston,
Oh,
which
really?
is great because
The same location?
no, different location, across the street from DTO. If you've never been to DTO and you like good cocktails, DTO in Galveston, yeah. But we need local breweries and local tap rooms, and so I'm glad that they're not leaving. They're moving their production and part of their tap room off island, but they're still going to be part of the island, and so please be sure to support those guys.
Sure.
Eric is super passionate about his beer.
Eric's
He
never
works
been anything but super
really,
nice.
really hard to make quality beer and to promote that brewery.
Yeah.
So please, if you come to Galveston, visit all the local breweries: Devil in the Deep, Naked Iguana, and Galveston Island Brewing. Right?
Yeah.
We're the oldest. We're turning 11. I'm not sure when this podcast is coming out.
It's coming out next Friday.
So next Friday when this comes out, Saturday is our 11-year anniversary. We would love for you to come by, hang out,
Perfect timing.
drink some beers. We got some good stuff coming out. It's going to be awesome.
Okay.
It's going to be awesome.
So beyond your anniversary, what other kind of events do you guys have going on?
Next month we have second annual Pickle Palooza.
What's that?
Oh, I saw the
It's
ad
a
for that.
pickle festival that we are doing at the brewery. That we also make a pickle beer.
Yep.
Yeah. Shout out to our friends at Martin House that have kind of inspired us to make probably the best pickle beer in Texas.
They're so far ahead of y'all now because now
100%.
they're
Yeah.
releasing ketchup beers. So yeah,
Oh,
get
yeah, I saw
get
your
on that.
Hey,
Craft beer's not dead.
quick story. Hey, Martin
What you
House,
said,
man.
Craft beer's dead.
Last year, so I think we're all part of the Texas Craft Brewers Guild.
Yeah.
So the Texas Craft Brewers Guild does a once a year event in different cities in Texas. So they do what's called a summer roundup, and last year it was in Fort Worth, and so we got to spend some time at Martin House. I had never been. One of my favorite breweries in Texas.
I like Martin House.
I love Martin House.
Yeah.
I love that they are not afraid to
make a ketchup
try
beer?
something different, right? Chelsea is
I'm
back,
doing
guys.
great. Yeah.
Hey,
She's-
Chelsea.
Doing good.
Yeah, we're good, Chelsea.
Yep.
Thank you. Martin House is not afraid to try something. And when we were there last year, sorry, there was a truck. When we were there last year, they did an au jus beer. If you ever had roast beef,
Oh,
you
man.
know what au jus is.
Cure a
They had
tummy ache.
They had an au jus beer, and I was like, oh, I gotta try that.
I would try that.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
But they had some.
I hated it, but I love that they have the courage
Yeah.
to do something different every time.
Their pizza sour was not that bad. I wouldn't want to drink a lot of it. I only had one. But I was also, I read a lot of people's comments saying, drink that with pizza. So I drank that beer with like a Red Baron frozen pizza one night, and I was like, I'm not mad at it. It's not bad.
They
But
had
that's
a
the thing
buffalo wing and ranch. They had a
Yeah.
buffalo wing beer and a ranch dressing beer.
yeah. But
That,
for as
not gonna
wacky as
lie,
it is,
was not great. But again,
It's
they had the
drinkable.
balls to do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And when you have the balls to do something, sometimes you hit it, right?
Yeah.
But every single pickle beer style that they've done, I feel it's a fucking winner.
I like it when
100%.
people
Great
take the
pickle.
swing and not worry about the
Absolutely.
mess. I do. For
Even
sure.
the grape pickle is good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I was skeptical about that one. I was like,
Me
oh,
too.
I don't know. They did a fruit punch one also.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, with pickle, I'm not sure. It was like, it was good.
Yeah.
Loved it.
I think
Loved
it all that I really want to attribute that to their base. Their sour base, one of the best.
My favorite beer before the pickle beer was Salty Lady, which is their
Okay.
year-round goes. I don't know if they make that anymore.
Yeah, I
but
don't know.
Man,
I don't see it anymore like it
that's
used
a
to.
beer that's every time I see that one, I was like, I'll have that because I know I can just chug it and
Yeah.
enjoy it. It's a beautiful beer.
Yeah.
Leo, is there anything else you want to tell the guest or before we shut this thing down?
Man, like, support your local brewery wherever you live. If you live in Kingwood, if you live in Spring, if you live in Dallas, if you live in Marathon or Alpine, Lubbock, wherever you are, support your local brewery. Yeah.
Real quick here. So I want to go over a couple things. I know we need to make it kind of quick, but
no, for sure. I'm not rushing this at all. By the way, we have all the time.
All right, because all I wanted to there was a couple things. The old timer jam session on Sundays. Can we talk about that?
Absolutely. Every Sunday, we call it the Hoot Nanny.
This is at
If
Galveston
you-
Island, right?
Yes.
At Galveston Island Brewing, every Sunday, we have a Hoot Nanny. If you sing, play an instrument, come hang out, and
Yeah,
make
you don't
some
have
music.
to just be old.
You don't
anybody's
have to be
invi-
old. Everybody's invited.
But
We-
I've been there on a Sunday afternoon and seen these old cats just getting up there and jamming and playing, and it is awesome. It is so much fun. I
Yeah.
play music, but I'm usually there with my family, so I don't really get involved. But next time I might try to bring my guitar and just sit in on a
should.
couple
You
songs
should.
and jam with them because they sit in the brew house, which is
Yep.
now turned it's brew house slash
Event
sitting
space.
event space sitting
Yeah.
you could sit in there and hang out, and man, it's so awesome. I mean, there'll be three dudes playing guitar, somebody playing the banjo, somebody playing
Sometimes
the
a
fucking
harmonica.
yeah, sometimes a harmonica. There's all sorts of instruments that get involved, and it's a lot of fun. I've listened to those guys just jam and play music, and it's a lot of fun. The other thing that I wanted to ask about was because my memory's
Are you
dog
gonna
shit.
ask me if I need to go pee?
Do you need to go?
Apparently,
I
he
gotta
needs to
go
go
pee.
pee. I did want to ask about your Lord of the Rings fandom.
Oh, okay. Lord of the
Take
Rings
your
fan.
pee
Pause
break.
this for a second while
Take
I
your
go take a piss
yeah.
break.
We'll take a break.
Yeah.
One more break, and we'll do 20 more minutes. We'll get out of here.
Perfect. That
Yes.
sounds perfect.
F your liver. The game that will have you salute the general, and then say the alphabet backwards, and then elect the president, and then bust a move, and then throw a ninja star, and then shoot your finger gun, and then roar like a T-Rex, and then freeze like ice, and then karate chop, and then bust a rhyme, and then bet on a horse race, and then spell supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, and then make your buddy laugh. Don't touch the ground because the floor is lava. Tell a story. Eat my lips. Just grab 3 to 20 friends, a drink of your choice, shuffle and flip the top card, and let the chaotic hilarity unfold. F your liver. A game worth drinking to.
I like a little juice.
Okay, guys. We are continuing the podcast. We're at the near end. We've already, by the way, done like 2 hours and 15 minutes, Leo.
That's wild, dude.
we just did a little LARPing in the parking lot.
Yeah. Casey won. He won a beer.
Yeah, fucking
Cheers.
swordsman.
And
Can
Yeah.
you say something real quick? I just love
Yeah.
that you guys wanted me to be on your show.
Yeah.
I've been a guest on podcasts before, but never a beer podcast. And this is my first time, so it's kind of weird and interesting being on the other side
Yeah.
of a beer podcast because I did one for 2 years,
yeah.
and I just want to say thank you
Yeah,
for
Thank you for agreeing to come on.
for having me on.
I knew I was
It's,
gonna have a good time today. Like that was no doubt in my
Yeah.
mind. 'Cause I knew I
I've
just
never
know
had
you.
a bad time doing one of these yet. Every
Yeah,
single
not at
one's been
all.
A good time.
But like, I guess I should rephrase it. Like it was gonna be easy, and I already kind of know a little bit about you. We've hung out, like we've spent time together, so it just seemed like it was gonna be easy peasy. I was gonna have a good time.
No, you're definitely one of my favorite people in the scene for sure.
Oh yeah, I
And
love
it's-
seeing you.
Yeah, I
and
love
vice
seeing
versa,
you.
guys.
Yeah.
Vice versa.
I wish
And
I ran into you more, if I'm being honest.
Shout out to all the beer reps out there, man. Like, there's not a beer rep out there that I don't love because we all struggle, with the same thing every day, right?
Yeah.
Like we're all out there grinding every day, trying
Yeah.
to get our beers on tap or
Yep.
into a store, whatever it is, man. Like it's a struggle, and so we may have disagreements on certain things, but like we know the struggle every day that
Yeah.
like this is a tough job. It used to
tough.
be less tough, but it's tough right now. And
Yeah.
I'm just
makes
so
us stronger.
thankful I get to do this job. It's
Oh, man,
it's
me
my
too.
favorite. I appreciate waking up every single day and being like, oh, I gotta go do this thing. This is the worst. Like
Snap,
it's
man. I
it
love
doesn't
it.
feel that
I
way.
love it.
Yeah.
It's.
I love it.
I like feeling like I'm on a rising ship.
I wanted
Yeah.
to open this part up with you. What's that song that is it Pippin that sings in the third Lord of the Rings, Return of the King? Well, the suitor is shoving tomatoes
He's
in
eating
his mouth.
tomatoes.
Yeah,
Lord Denethor
yeah.
eating tomatoes. Yeah, man. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings nerd.
So you're not gonna sing that song?
Nerd alert!
I'm not gonna sing that song.
Okay.
Because Billy Boyd does a much better job than I can.
He's pretty good.
Yeah. I love Billy Boyd, Dominic Monaghan, all those guys.
Merry and
They're
Pippin,
great.
yeah.
Merry and Pippin, man. My dog's name is Pippi, and I call her Pippi the Toque.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
You have a
I
Lord
feel
of
like
the
somebody
Rings.
just put Lord of the Rings music on.
We should. We should. It would immediately make me cry. I'm very emotional when it comes to Lord of the Rings, unfortunately.
It's just come on, Eileen. It's no big deal.
It's just coming on.
You have a Lord of the Rings TikTok, right?
Well, I mean, it's my TikTok account.
It's like Lord of the Rings
and
Leo.
it's LOTR Leo.
Yeah.
I think I have 5 posts.
I don't
Some
know.
of them are about Lord of the Rings.
And you fucking you did like a little reel of a pinball machine.
There was a Lord of the Rings pinball machine at Katie Walwis Beer Fest back in November.
Yeah.
And that was my most popular. I think I have 6,000 views on that TikTok.
Pretty good.
Wow.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good. But I wish I could do more. And I have other people that follow me that are Lord of the Rings people. But I don't post a lot of content. and
Yeah.
I feel like I should. Maybe I will. I don't know.
Is there more Lord of the Rings lore like coming out? Is it like Star Wars where they're trying
I
to?
mean, the Ring of Power
so
show.
we got the Rings of Power series that's
Okay.
coming into season 3.
They got a movie, an animated movie that came out in December.
An animated movie called the War of the Rohirrim that came out back in December.
Yeah,
which was fantastic.
I haven't watched it yet. I have the popcorn bucket though at my house.
I do too.
Yeah, the hammer.
The hammer. I have the hammer and the beer stein.
Oh, how's the beer stein?
There's
That's
a
good.
beer stein.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
the
a
hammer
beer
was
stein.
cool, but
Yeah.
it was a popcorn bucket that was like this long. Yeah, and then the beer stein. I think I saw a picture of that, and
I will send you a picture of both of my super cool War of the Rohirrim collectible pieces.
I'm a Lord of the Rings fan. I grew up on
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings. That was my Star Wars for sure. In
Yeah,
the early 2000s.
and I love Star Wars too. And my kind of funny, weird Lord of the Rings story. So when those movies came out in the early 2000s, I was not into that kind of shit. My brother and one of my good friends, who's no longer with us, unfortunately, Eric. Shout out to my friend Eric Copeland. May he rest in peace. They were like, dude, like just come watch the movie with us. Like just come hang out. I was like, fuck, dude. Like, all right. You're making me watch a movie that I know I'm just gonna hate with wizards and all this bullshit.
Yeah.
And I remember in the movie looking at my watch at what time it was, knowing that this was a 3-hour movie, and being so grateful that we had 2 hours to go.
That's a good feeling.
And I was like, I am glad that I was wrong, because this is an amazing story. And from that point on, when that movie, when the Fellowship of the Ring came out in 2001, I was hooked, because it tells such a deep, deep, deep human story.
Is it dead?
Dead.
Do you like Rings of Power?
I do. I think that the first season of Rings of Power had its issues, and there was some people that hated it, whatever. Like, but I was like, let's give it a shot, and. The second season was so much better.
I haven't watched the second season.
Oh my
yet.
gosh!
I know. I've heard that.
The
so.
scenes with Celebrimbor and Sauron are so great. Like, just the best part of the
I need to
storytelling.
catch up.
It's so good, man. Please go watch it.
When people talk to me about Lord of the Rings, I think back to that episode of Friends when they're like, "Did you never played Dungeons and Dragons in high school?" And Joey's like, I had sex in high school. And I'm like, that's me. But I only had sex with one girl, so it's not really the same.
When I was in high school, when I was younger, that type of stuff. That's the thing that led me to, like, not... When my brother and my friend Eric dragged me to go watch Lord of the Rings. Sorry, we're laughing at Casey's one girl in high school sex joke. Hilarious. Yeah.
It's the truth, though.
It's the truth. I feel I'm right there with you, bro. One girl. Yeah.
One girl to rule them all.
We're nerds. We didn't get laid a lot.
I was too busy having sex with this one girl that watched Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, but that's what I always think of because I don't know. I was never into fantasy. That's all.
So from an early age, I wanted to get into it, but my parents were like, "No, Dungeons and Dragons. That's the devil.
Yeah,
whatever."
I don't understand.
Yeah.
I mean, I get where I do kind of understand where they're coming from, but at the same time, I'm like, it's just a fucking game. Like, I don't know. But my parents kind of did the same thing. It was a little bit of like being worried about the spiritual aspect of some of that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And so I'm forever grateful to my brother and Eric for like dragging me to the movies to watch this movie and breaking me out of that mindset of like fantasy is the devil, right? Because it's not. There's deep truths in fantasy stories
Yeah.
that live with me to this day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Star Wars, it's fucking about being good or evil. Like it's like black and white. Like
it's black and white, man.
It's as black and white as it gets.
Well, I think Star Wars is a little bit different when it comes to good and evil as far as being black and white. Chelsea's back, everybody.
Hey, Chelsea. Can I get another water? Yeah.
Same for me. Water.
Let me see.
Leo, we're about to end this thing. I do want to ask you one more question.
Sure.
And what is the future in the craft beer world?
Well,
The future is hard work.
No, for Leo though.
For Leo.
What's the next 5 years until for Leo? Well,
Galveston Island Brewing, man.
yeah, it's Galveston Island
It's
all the
Galveston
way.
Island. If it
You're not-
doesn't work out there, it's not going to work out.
You're not going to
anywhere.
do your own thing in the future.
No. There was a part of me years ago that thought about opening my own brewery. I have friends that we still talk about it a little bit to this day.
Would it
But
have to be a brewery, not a bar?
no. I mean, if we open a brewery, I think I would be the one that's in charge of the bar or the tap room or whatever, but I'm not a brewer.
Yeah.
I love it when people ask me when I'm doing like a demo. It's like, did you make this? I love telling people if I was the one that made this, we'd already be closed
right, yeah.
Yeah.
because I am a terrible brewer.
So
I
you
am
have
not,
brewed beer before.
I am not a scientist. I've made
Yeah.
beer at home, and some of it has been okay, but the majority of it is absolute garbage. And so I leave that portion of the beer world to the experts, to the scientists, the people that know how to make good beer. That's not me. I love talking about beer. I love the people involved in it. And I feel that that's what's going to keep me in it.
Yeah.
That's what's going to keep me in it.
Yeah, that's what we drive that nail in so hard. Like the community aspect of what we do is really important.
100%, man. You can't be successful in beer if you don't build community.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very
Make
important.
make good beer, build community. I think you'll be successful.
Is that your last words? You got anything else?
I don't know. What else you want?
Yeah, what do you have anything you want to say?
I mean, if you want to keep talking about Lord of the Rings, we can talk about Lord of the Rings.
if you want to talk about Lord of the Rings, yeah, we're
I just love those stories. Tolkien is a guy that I feel like understands spirituality. He understands good and evil. I also think that Tony Gilroy, who's a writer for Star Wars, that wrote Rogue One and the Andor series, understands human behavior. He understands politics. He understands.
I watched the first
Yeah.
season of Endor. I really liked it. I need to watch the second
The
season.
second season's phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be the
It's
good
as
Star
good
Wars
or
show.
better.
Okay.
Or as
I'll
yeah.
check that out. I've been getting into Star Wars with my kids.
Did
I
you-
wasn't into it as much when I was young,
Yeah.
but with my boys, they're 6 years apart, so I've had two different. Like I'm just discovering it with my 7-year-old.
Did you like
But
Rogue
with-
One?
Rogue One's my favorite.
So Endor is the prequel to Rogue One. And
Okay.
and they're 2 seasons now.
Rogue One's my favorite Star Wars movie.
You like Endor.
Yeah, okay. I'll check
That's
it
my
out.
favorite Star Wars movie too.
Yeah.
I think it's really
Yeah.
great. My favorite's still Empire Strikes Back.
So Empire
No,
Strikes
it's
Back
hard-
is a close second for me.
Yeah, yeah.
But the fact that Rogue One and Andor does not involve the Jedi or the Sith, it's about people like us,
Yeah.
human beings,
Right.
struggling against an authoritarian power.
I'll tell you this: I like the first season of Endor way more than I watched the first 2 Mandalorian seasons. And
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everybody was going crazy, like shit for those, and I was like, okay, and I hesitated jumping into them, and I watched them, and I enjoyed both of them. But everything else that came out, Star Wars on Disney Plus, everybody shit all over.
There's
And
some stuff that's not great.
I didn't
I
watch
like-
any of it. I
kind of like the Acolyte, but I understand why people didn't like it.
So the
It's
only
kinda
one I
shitty.
watched was Endor, because Endor was the one that people were saying nice
Andor's
things
real,
about.
man. Andor is a human story.
Yeah.
It's a human story that you can definitely take parallels where we are today in the world
So what's happening now?
with that story.
I'm interested to see the direction that the second season will go in, because the first season kind of just ended in with the entire story that they did. It just like that part of the story was over, so it would have to be an entirely new story with that character.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
But Cassian Andor is not the name of obviously the name of the show is Andor, right?
I'm good.
I'm good. I'm good, Chelsea. Can you bring me my check?
Oh yeah, same.
Yeah.
Come back in 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Come back in 10 minutes.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, last thing I'll say, like, watch the stories. Watch Lord of the Rings. Watch Rogue One. Watch Andor. And tell yourself, or ask yourself, where am I in this story?
Yeah.
Where am I in this story? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And if you want to talk to me, you know where to find me.
Yeah. So if you
Yeah.
see people fighting back against this, you kind of understand. This is real life. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Hey,
late
shout out
nights,
to my
though.
wife, Lynn.
Shout out to all the wives for letting us
Yeah.
do this tonight.
She's my fucking rock, man. Like,
yeah.
She's amazing.
I wouldn't be where I am today if it
Super
wasn't
sweet
for her.
woman.
Yeah.
And I feel bad when I don't trust her with things, and that was something that I didn't tell her, and I should have. And
Yeah.
it would have been okay.
Right.
It would have been okay.
Yeah.
It was just my upbringing of, like, you know, drugs are bad. Like,
Yeah.
if you're the kind of person that does this, you're
Exactly what it
terrible,
was.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I felt the
that
same
was
way.
not the case.
Yeah.
That was not the case.
You had to hide it because
And-
you've always just felt that way.
And I would say this about what I use. I use THC almost daily.
No?
I don't like to smoke, and so I do edibles or a beverage of some kind that has THC in it. I think that's okay to do.
I think we all use it
I would
daily at
say
this table right here.
I would say with psilocybin and those type of psychoactive ingredients, if you, and I've done a lot of research. If you struggle with mental health, if you're bipolar, if you have really big mental health struggles, try and steer clear of mushrooms,
Yeah.
because it could do more damage
Right.
than normal.
You can dig that hole deeper.
You can dig the hole deeper.
You can.
100%.
Because you'll believe yourself that those things are wrong with you.
Yeah.
And that'll trigger you into thinking and digging and hardening
Yeah.
that experience. Yeah.
Yeah. Chelsea's back. We're still talking. Sorry, Chelsea,
Sorry. Yeah.
but we're almost done. We're
Almost done.
So, yeah, you know, if you try stuff out. If you feel hesitant to do it, you know, tell a friend, hey, I'm gonna do this. Can you maybe check up on me or keep an eye on me, make sure that I'm okay? Try it out because
And
I
also,
think it's helpful.
I think
it's helpful.
I think it's good to know, and I think that's where we're at in this whole conversation about THC. Whether we have regulation or we completely just shut it out of our lives, I think that also pertains to mushroom awareness. That some of the chemicals that you're intaking that say they're mushroom chemicals are not in fact psilocybin. You're intaking some other chemicals, so you have to be careful. Make sure you do your research whenever you take those kinds of things, because the experience that I've had from psilocybin is quite different from some of the over-the-counter mushroom products that I've tried. I've gotten benefits from both, but I would say they're vastly different.
Yeah. So I still continue to do microdosing of mushrooms.
Do you?
And yeah, and it's helpful.
But with
helpful.
over-the-counter, not
No,
okay.
no, I do the stuff that's illegal.
Yeah,
I do.
yeah.
Well, it's
if
all.
you want to come arrest me,
technically-
like
I don't know.
whatever. But because I feel that that's the most helpful.
Yeah.
And hopefully, you guys might disagree. I'm hoping that the governor vetoes the bill.
We
that-
can only hope, but
that would
just seem
make
yeah.
hemp-based THC illegal. There's a lot of people that including myself, that benefit from the use of that.
Yeah.
I would rather use that than an opioid.
Absolutely.
When I was talking about that
Seems
earlier,
silly to say it
and
out loud.
saying it would be good for craft beer, wasn't trying to imply that I would be happy about that. I would be very disappointed.
I think that certain breweries would benefit from it. I think the possibility of our brewery making a THC product would benefit from it because, we're an island brewery.
I think
I think a
so
brewery
many breweries, including Megaton, would make a THC product if it actually passed and it was
Yeah,
legal.
I think they could benefit from it.
I think we would totally do that. But to my point, what I was saying at the beginning of this conversation was I was saying that I think that younger people, with all the different options, there's so many options for younger people to get stimulated, to get to messed up,
A buzz of some sort.
buzz of some sort. There's so many options, and why mess around with local? Why, if you're gonna mess around with beer, then they're gonna go with the cheaper beer because they don't have a lot of money. They're gonna buy the Keystones, what we were calling dirty 30s back in the day.
Dirty 30s, yeah.
But why even mess with that when you can get something even cheaper that doesn't give you a hangover?
Yeah.
That's the
and
thing
it's
for me, man.
healthier.
Like I said before, I don't really drink beer as much as I used to at the house. I drink THC beverages.
I drink THC beverages.
And I don't wake up with a hangover.
Right. Yeah.
But I think that our what we're doing, our business selling craft beer, is going to be positively impacted by the THC ban happening.
Yeah.
Ultimately, not that I'm a champion for it. I don't want it to happen.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't think it's going to be a bad thing for us.
We'll see, man.
Yeah.
We'll see. I slightly disagree with you, but
Yeah,
we will see.
I
We'll
want
see.
I want to be able to walk into stores and buy the products that I've been buying, that I buy on a daily basis.
One thing that I kind of want to clear up in case just there is some non-clarification on it, but I definitely think that a brewery can see some success with dealing with THC products, but I don't think that the removal of THC products as a whole will help a brewery do that much better. I don't think you would see an increase at brewery sales.
It all comes back to younger people.
People that are getting high regardless.
For sure.
And the people that go to breweries are already getting high. They already have, you know what I mean?
People don't like going to breweries, getting high and going places. People like getting high and staying home and watch it.
For the majority, I like to. I'll smoke, but I smoke weed every day, so it's kind of a thing. But I'll smoke before I go drink. I'll smoke after, during, whatever. But one thing I don't like to do is not smoke for a really long time and get really, really drunk and then smoke.
Yeah.
That's where you'd fuck up.
No, for sure.
But yeah.
Yes.
I was just saying that people that smoke traditionally and mess with those products stick around at home.
Yeah.
And entertain themselves at home. And part of drinking craft beer is going out and going to breweries and experiencing those places firsthand, or going to craft beer bars and experiencing those places firsthand.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just saying you're picking what you're doing for the night. And with some of those options going away, some people don't know how to interact with sketchy people and get products behind corners that other people wouldn't be able to get.
Yeah.
So it's going to be providing less opportunity for people to get their hands on those products. Therefore, it's going to force people to come out of the shadows and come back maybe to the breweries and the craft beer bars.
I would hope so.
I would hope so. And that's all I'm saying. And I'm not saying that I'm expecting that in droves. I'm just saying I'm expecting that a little bit. And I'm expecting multiple things to impact our turnaround in craft beer. Because I think craft beers, we have breweries closing. And that's going to, the fact that we have 2 breweries in the Houston area closing, that's good. People are going to be like, okay, we at least we need to be in the mindset.
They're not going to be the last ones either. Huh?
No, there's more to
They're
come.
not going to be the last ones, but hopefully this is a reminder that we need to get off our asses. We need to get off our asses and go support our local craft breweries if you want them to stick around.
And if you're a local craft brewery, make good beer, do good marketing,
Yep.
and make people feel welcome at your place.
Yeah.
First, yes, back those things. Make people feel welcome.
Make
good
people feel
marketing.
welcome, and yeah,
Events. Casey's always saying events are keys.
events are
Social
important.
Media
Social
is
media,
key.
marketing, having a good, even regulars that are willing to promote your business too. People that are there all the time. You know, if you can get them behind you, all those things. But yeah, man,
Let's shut this thing down.
It's 10:30. Oh
It's-
my God.
it is.
10:30. Is this late for Leo?
I'm 52 years old. Yes.
Well,
It's late.
let's cheers it one more time. I got a water right
We're
here.
cheersing with beer, with water.
Water.
and beer.
Casey's got a beer. This has been fun, guys. Thank you so
Well, it's fun.
much.
Thank you, Leo.
Thank you guys. I appreciate y'all. Love you guys.
Love you, brother.